It's the greatest thing I've ever seen. You're overdue. I just felt it's something that makes you look good, and that's cool, and you know, I'm all for it, but I think you need to tone this down because now it's getting intrusive to the show. But they can go in the afternoon for a U.S.
Hold
show,
on a second.
as they did there, and they
Dave?
can do 180,000 buys for an afternoon show, which they've also done for All In. So
Okay,
we
hold
know
on.
they can do. We know they can do big.
Can I
numbers for an
continue
afternoon.
this before you cut me off? We
Yeah,
know
go ahead.
one thing.
Yes.
We know it
No,
might have done well because
I'm
it went
not-
on first.
I'm not saying it would.
Here's my thing, Dave.
But here's okay. Wait. Okay, here's the thing. Oh my God! It's the greatest thing I've ever seen. I mean, it didn't mean anything to me. It was just a match.
That's the problem, Dave. It should mean something to you.
Give him a quick squash win, just to show that, like, you know, he's not a loser.
What's happening, guys? Welcome to another eclectic edition of hashtag DMDMW, Dave Meltzer, dumb moment of the week. I am your host, the infallible Phil Marks. That is Phil S. Marks.
Fucking Mark!
And shout out everybody tuning in across the IWC land. Today's show, Dave Meltzer crashes out about Tony Khan appearing on the Coach and Bro show. Also, we have Bryan Alvarez being short-tempered with people, WWE fans. He's a dummy. We're going to get into all of that and more. And there's not too much in here. There's not too much in Phil Marks bookmarks today for Dave Meltzer Dumb Moment of the Week. So everybody hit like, hit subscribe, hit retweet, rate this podcast 5 stars. All of that good stuff. You can super chat in or become a member for 99 cents on the YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/@ProWrestleClips. And make sure you check out patreon.com/ProWrestleTimes. We have one from Rabid Wolverine LC Killer 17 for 5. Says, do you think Dave Meltzer will give matches lower star rating for Dynasty after the Vince Russo interview? I love that you asked this question. I really love that you asked this question.
Or, the young superstar, babyface, that former heel thing. So
I don't because Tone has done things in the past that Dave doesn't necessarily agree with, and he still rates it high and still puts it over and glazes it and everything like that. So to answer your question, I don't think he will give it any higher or lower star ratings, Now he might, if Vince Russo was like, bro, let me tell you, I like Mercedes Moné, he might like rate her match lower, sure, but he already kind of does rate her a little bit lower than I think he would if she was anyone else, just because she's like chapped his ass a couple times. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, flutes in the chat, because it is time for everybody's favorite segment turned into its own show, and it is called Dave Meltzer's Dumb Moment of the Week, featuring Bryan Alvarez. So speaking of Bryan Alvarez, flying, crying Alvarez, he gets mad here and he gets very short-tempered. And we have a Lance Storm fail as well, where he completely shit on WWE. Not really shit on it, but got to the point where he's like, I'm turning this off. And then it turns out he ain't turning it off when it's AEW doing the exact same thing. So I like Lance Storm, but he might be grilled for the shill. You get grilled for the shill here at DMDMW. So Bryan Alvarez, though, he got mad and he goes, people seem to be confused about Bryan Alvarez's reporting regarding WrestleMania ticket prices being lowered. And I quote tweeted this. I was like, nobody's confused but you, little unk.
I reported a couple of days ago that following CM Punk's promo on Raw, WWE lowered the ticket price a little bit for WrestleMania, and their plan is in certain markets certain markets throughout the summer,
Certain
they are going to lower ticket prices.
Certain markets. I'm Bryan Alvarez. Certain markets.
Okay. Now, God bless them. God bless you all.
God bless
us one
America.
and all, as that guy said. Some people are so stupid that they misinterpreted that as CM Punk went off script, made a comment about ticket prices, and they were forced to lower them.
Okay, listen to this smug laughing. So listen to how Bryan, we're going to jump around here. Listen how he sets it up. So he goes, I reported following CM Punk's promo on Raw, I had a report saying they're going to lower prices in markets. And some people interpreted that as me saying, because of his promo, they're lowering prices. Okay, Bryan, it's time. So then you're a dumbass and you're shitty at timing. Or you don't read the room well and you don't see what all the other dirt sheets are saying and how it just aligns with what they're all saying because of his promo. Everyone's saying that. Dave's saying that. The problem is it's F4W and the Observer. It's all encompassing. So if Dave says some shit or insinuates some shit, that goes on you. If you didn't want that, you shouldn't have partnered up with them.
People are so stupid that they misinterpreted that as CM Punk went off script, made a comment about ticket prices, and they were forced to lower them. I got to mute myself. I'll mute myself. How in the possibly get that out of what I said?
Because of what I said. And you're old and short and you're tired and you're just making up fake reasons to be outraged because you're not interesting. Your guys' wrestling reviews is, and then they did the match and it was what it was. Yeah, except it's like, well, the idea behind Bryan was, well, you know what, Dave? That's all it is. It's just boring, monotone. You just seem miserable to even be doing it. Okay? So I know you have to construct fake reasons to be outraged, but you're not that dumb, Bryan. You're not this stupid. And then it's just like, everyone's stupid. No, you're literally being stupid right now. You know why they think that.
The plan was to do this, and then they worked it into a CM Punk promo for the Jiminy Christmas.
And then he's doing fake cusses, censoring himself. Oh, hey, guys, look, I'm going to say, read. Oh, hey, I got a new bit, guys. Ready? I'm going to, you motherfucker.
Now.
Holy.
They're going to lower some prices for certain shows through the summer. There's nothing to do with CM Punk. It was not a shoot that caused this. Okay? But I can't even remember what I was going to say. I got so angry.
Because you're making it up. Because you're not even saying anything. That's why you're just fucking trying to pretend to be outraged about some shit. So, speaking of pretend outrage here, Lance Storm. And I have to share this one here. So Alfred Konowa at This Is Nasty at Pro Wrestling Bits, friend of the show. He said, Cody made a veiled reference to Vince McMahon 2 weeks ago on WWE Raw. It was enough to make Lance Storm quit watching out of protest. What a saint. Very curious to see how Lance handles Jericho's direct reference of Conor McGregor, found liable for sexual assault in 24. And Jericho just brought up Conor McGregor and in AEW, and that is Jericho and Lance Storm. They are old tag partners. So that is Lance Storm's old tag partner. Let's see if he switches off AEW. Let's take a watch.
I'm sorry, I stopped watching when the initial Janelle Grant case came out. I gave them a break when he, I'm doing air quotes here, retired and left. When they brought him back, I said, I'm not watching. And now he's part of a storyline, and I just find it incredibly, what's the word, in bad taste.
Oh, come on, buddy.
This contract that says I can choose any available opponent for this Sunday at Dynasty in Vancouver. I can choose Conor McGregor himself.
And no pop. So everyone's like, Connor McWho? Like he has the new gen of MMA fans, like they came after they're like the Fight Island generation, so they don't even like know who the fuck Conor McGregor is anymore. They're just like, what? Yeah, dude, I don't know, man. It's just funny. He will not keep that same energy. Lance Storm won't for one fucking second. And when he came out there in Edmonton there, buddy, and and he said Conor McGregor, and I was like, I'm out, buddy. I'm out. Is he gonna say that? He's not gonna say that. So we move along. And shout out Lance Storm. I like him, but like, goddamn. Moving along here, Bryan Alvarez making a short and sweet appearance on tonight's show, but he is short-tempered, and he starts going off about Soul and Zarya and who's supposed to be babyface and who's not. And of course, this was before Stand and Deliver. The thing is they delivered, pun intended, I guess. I don't know, but that match was pretty solid. And Sol Ruka's a goddamn star, and she should be on the main roster. But Bryan, again, was trying to, like, make people... This is the thing he does, right? Him and Dave know this. They're, like, informing people who don't watch WWE or, like, NXT about what's going on, calling it all stupid and shit. And then they want to sit there and go, oh, the people who criticize AEW don't watch it. But meanwhile, I watch all of it. Like, all of it. I watch it on the air. I'm on when it's on, so yeah, let's listen to Bryan just kind of cope over this storyline. Like, everybody gets what's going on.
This was confirmed to me. She's supposed to be a babyface.
That can't be true.
She's supposed to be cheered. Zarya is supposed to be a heel. She is supposed to be booed. When this was written, it was written for Soul to be a babyface.
No.
And for, yes!
I can't accept that.
Yes!
That's not what I saw. I watched the show. I took notes. I saw her cut an outstanding heel promo.
No.
So she continues.
It's so bad. You thought sincerely that Soul is supposed to be the heel.
No, nobody thought that, right? So what we did is what every person did, and I'm okay with Bry like getting excited and yelling, but he doesn't really give a shit because it's not this outrageous. Yes, she cut, like, I don't even really remember, but yes, it didn't come across well, and it's like, are you the fucking heel or what? That's what you say. It's not you thought that she was the fucking... No, if you're dumb and old and tired, yes, like you, dude. If you're shark-eyed, tired, exhausted, and setting up a WrestleMania 42 grift in Las Vegas where you're all going to go eat Brazilian barbecue together and fucking hang out with Dave Meltzer and watch WrestleMania in Vegas with 15% off, but WrestleMania epically failed and sucks, and there's nobody going to be in Vegas to watch the fucking show, according to you, at the same time. Yes, if you're busy coming up with ways to be faux outraged and you're really short and it's frustrating, you can't reach shit that's high up, and the fucking your wife's the one who reaches for the fucking bowls on the colander on the top fucking shelf or whatever, wherever you keep it, right? I understand you need the steppy stool to fucking to brush those chompers, dude, but it's to be so goddamn angry. It came off. It was okay. They sold the match well. Stand and Deliver overall didn't have the best build, but yeah, I don't think anyone was confused. Zarya's the heel. She does the heel shit, right? Soul's learning. This is why you're in developmental. Why are they in developmental? Well, this is why, because she fucked up and someone wrote her some bad shit, or she fucked up and didn't come across, I think, the way people have been interpreting it, right?
Zarya is the babyface.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
But it can't be.
And the other problem is the way that you wrote this makes Zarya come off as even more of a sympathetic character.
Yeah.
You know what this is? This is Becky Lynch in like 2018 when Vince was so dumb that he couldn't figure out why he turned her heel. Why are they cheering her? He was an idiot. And that's what we're dealing with this Soul Zarya thing right now.
But at one point,
but then in the match at Stand and Deliver, like, everyone got it. We all knew who was healing. We all knew his babyface. The following NXT, We all got it, right? Like Zarya hit that spear on Soul while she's outside of the ring, right? Like everyone gets it. This is just like this is I was less outraged when the Bucks exploding super booted Moxley with a barbed wire boot. You know, like come on, dude.
I wrote,
Calm down.
if the plan is to turn Soul heel, this was a masterpiece.
It wasn't.
But later I wrote, it's NXT. I am still not 100% sure that turning her heel is the plan.
Vinny, I'll bet you dollars to donuts
All right.
that to avoid people pointing out how dumb they are, they will turn Soul. I'm going to be right in the end. They're going to turn Soul heel because they this up so bad.
So like when is the cutoff for that? Because you're not right. They didn't fuck up so bad. So what he's doing is he's literally just like, this is what I would call grifting, or not even grifting, but like preying on redax. So the people, they don't watch NXT. They're fucking sickos for the most part that he's talking to, right? And the people who get all defensive over Brian Dave. And this was not this outrageous. And he's like, I bet dollars to donuts. Okay, well, I better get some fucking Dunkins sent over here, bud. Where's my Dunkins? Because I'm going to tell you right now, that hasn't happened yet. So when's the cutoff? Just one day in 3 months when Soul's a heel? Or does everyone get it? And this is just a bit of a misstep. You know, it's just trying to doom and gloom on something so minute, right? And then he just laughs off fucking Darby Allin's phony, cheesy car crash, or like he's gonna just laugh off the Will Ospreay. Yeah, well, you know, Dave. He's not even gonna be like, why the fuck are they in suits? No one knows who they are. You're in Edmonton. Why is Alex Windsor with them out of nowhere? Who are these guys? He won't say any of that shit. But again, just like Lance Storm won't say shit about Jericho bringing up McGregor, but he's all triggered by, they brought up Vince, buddy, and you're bringing him up right now. Should we not watch you? Lance, you dumbass, the fuck? This is driving me nuts. These guys are just boomers. That's all. Shout out all you boomers out there who listen to PWT, but like you start getting old and you stop. He's like, I don't even watch the show. Then why the fuck is Bryan Alvarez talking to you about the fucking show? The fuck are we talking about here?
That the only out is to turn her heel and then claim we meant to do this all along. This is classic WWE playbook.
Yeah, I don't think it is really. I don't think it's classic. I don't think anything Soul or Zarya has been classic. I think it's, well, maybe. They did the Friends thing and now they hate, but they had to establish like that Zarya knows people and shit so that they could heat her up when they eventually turned her heel. Like a lot of people anticipated them just bringing her in as a monster heel, which I think that would have been the classical WWE thing to do with Zarya. Maybe I'm off on that. I don't know. I think this is more of like a modern, like we're girlfriends, girl power kind of story, you know, that they told. And yeah, maybe it is classic WWE where his fantasy mark booking where they flip her heel because of some shit Bryan Alvarez made up in his head. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. So he just starts yelling about how this NXT show sucks right before Stand and Deliver too. Like, is this not, it just seems so coordinated and fake when it's all of this doom and gloom piling up on WWE right before Mania every fucking year. All of this shit before Stand and Deliver. Brian was trying so hard. He ain't yelling about NXT this week. Maybe he will or has, and I just didn't see it. But like, come on, you were off dollars to donuts. Zarya speared Soul. They're still speared her out of her fucking shoes on at the ringside there, and they're still going with this.
This NXT show sucks, dude. Like, it sucks. This show last night was as bad as it was in 2025 when it was so bad that I compared it to like 2018, 2019 Vince McMahon, and like, God, it's so bad. And here's the thing. It's like this Soul Ruka Zarya thing, dude.
Oh.
Guys, I told you well over a month ago exactly how this was going to go. I had people deny it. I had people say that's not what... Guys, I told you. And it's not like I'm some genius, guys. It's...
Yeah, we know that, bud. We know that.
Basic human psychology. It's so obvious what the fans are going to do, and they
didn't do, but they didn't do any of this shit you said, stupid. So now what?
I just don't get it. They're booking
what?
Soul as a baby face. They think that Zari is like the heel in this scenario. And it's like, first off, she's not. Second off, and this is what actually bothers.
She's not. Doesn't explain how. Doesn't validate anything. Now, provided this is a clip that doesn't like explain why she's not. Okay. Well, if you read everything, watched every single fucking show, then don't release a 2-minute clip, asshole. Right? You wanted me to hear this part. So, again, they didn't, like, we're a week removed now from Stand and Deliver. Not a week, but like 4 or 5 days. That we had another NXT show at Stand and Deliver. It went down. Everyone got it. Everyone's getting it. It didn't play out the way Bry said it was going to. He's just melting down. So now are you going to come out and start yelling, I was a dumbass. They're not stupid idiots. This is awesome now. He's cooked, man. And this is why, like, last minute before Ava left NXT, and here's my theory, nobody's going to fucking bring this up, I guarantee you. Right before Ava left as GM, what did Bry do? He started all of a sudden, actually, this was really good. This is really good. Ava actually did some really good stuff, you know? And then all of a sudden she's fired. Oh, she starts doing good stuff. They got rid of her. It's just fake. You're phony, dude. People aren't this stupid, right? Like, we see what you're doing.
Bothers me the most. You don't even understand your own audience.
I don't know if maybe I was in a bad mood last night.
And then Tom Lawler, like, I'm not even going to listen to what he has to say because he's just fake indulging Bry. Right? It's like when Bry's talking to Dave. It's like Tom Lawler's just working Bry and he collects a paycheck. So we know that.
Whoever is the head writer, if this is Johnny Russo or whoever it is, this guy needs to be
And shout out Tom Lawler.
demoted to, like,
Who is this guy?
vice head
Who is
writer
Johnny Russo?
and get somebody with a clue to play Vince.
Bro, let me tell you, it's me, Vince, in disguise. Hand to God, bro, I wore a max. Nobody even could tell it was me.
McMahon to this Russo back in the 90s and, like, smarten this guy up. Like, God.
Yeah, I don't know, man. You're still short. So I know your anger won't fully ever go away, but like you definitely were off on all of that, and you bet dollars to donuts. So again, I want some goddamn Dunkins over here, buddy. So speaking of Bryan Alvarez being mad at NXT, here's him again, just melting down. Like, people are still defending NXT this past Tuesday. So let's listen.
This summer, WWE could be bringing Saturday night's main event to Madison Square Garden. Wrestle vote.
And it's like, you're still melting down about it. You know what I'm saying? Here, I got a couple super chats here. Sorry, guys. Sean Anigans, 158 for 10, says huge support. I can't actually believe all these motherfuckers at Wrestling Observer Newsletter turned this into a full-time job. Legit, bro. You got to kind of hand it to them. You know what I'm saying? And then when you question it, they just all fucking they just all call you grifters and shit. But meanwhile, like, is it not a grift to like be faux outraged or like do the WrestleMania thing? Like, you're doom and glooming Vegas and then you guys are pulling up to do a fucking thing there. Kind of cooked. I don't know. Thank you so much for the support. I'm not a shark. I'm a man for two, says pay attention. Okay. I don't know what you're talking about there. Okay, yeah, thank you so much for the super chat. So we move along here. Well, we're not moving along. Let's get to this clip we have of Bry. Like, people are still defending NXT, and it's like you're still melting down about it, though. So
this summer, WWE could be bringing Saturday night's main event to Madison Square Garden. WrestleVotes notes WWE planning a Saturday night's main event to be held at the world's most famous arena July 18th. Date would coincide with Fanatics Fest 2026, a convention in New York City that WWE and its stars are involved with. Saturday night's main event date has not been officially announced by WWE. That could change soon. They'll be at Madison Square Garden for Raw next Monday, and the theater at Madison Square Garden for NXT on Tuesday. Oh my God, NXT. You realize that like this NXT show on Tuesday was so ungodly terrible. It was just a horrifically booked show. And it was one of those things where I ranted about it and they clipped it up on the site and they put it up on the internet and yet all these fans, it's better than Collision will ever be. It's actually a great show, blah, blah.
1992. Okay, I'm not a shark. I'm a man. For two says 1990. Oh, right. Pay attention. Exactly. And that's what Bry thinks too. Like I'm supposed to pay attention to every fucking thing. It's a 2-minute clip. You put it up. I'm reacting to that. I don't give a fuck what else you said on your show. But yeah, exactly. Cleveland, 25,000 tickets. Fuck's sakes.
And meanwhile, you actually hear from people at NXT that are like, yeah, that show's just terrible. It was just terrible.
So people who work there, again, Elbu was saying that, people who work there who fucking like the product better or whatever, Hangman, Bagwell or whatever.
But the fans, they got to defend it to the death. Got to defend that show to the death, even though it sucked.
I don't think people defend NXT to the death. It's either you really like it or you really hate it, but he's trying to make it out like NXT fans are sickos or something. And like, yeah, maybe the ones who go to the show every week, but they're not. NXT gets criticism, just like SmackDown gets shitted on when it ain't good. WWE fans are at least fair because there's mostly people who are just fans of WWE. Bryan's initiative is like make people think NXT sucks and that the even though Dave Meltzer's giving them 5-star matches and shit and that the writing's horrible and what else? That what was he saying there? That it's good. Oh, yeah, it's good when they fire people. Sorry, what I was saying before was Ava Rain leaves. He's like, oh, it's good. All of a sudden they're firing people. That's good. No, dude, we see what you're doing. We see through your bullshit, and people are getting tired of it. And speaking of getting tired of it, Bryan Alvarez himself, trying Bryan Alvarez, okay?
Bryan.
He's getting tired of Dave's shit. So I don't know if Bryan is just like mad at someone in NXT and he's got some vendetta. I don't know if this is like his humiliation ritual to be like, they suck and don't watch the show and they have sickos, even though they fucking don't. Like everything he's saying, he should be saying about AEW, realistically, just like Pat McAfee. I don't know if fucking Dave is like humiliation ritualing him all year. This is like this year's humiliation ritual. I'm not sure, but Bryan is starting to get fed up working with Dave. So Dave always records the Observer Radio early Fridays for Garrett, while Dave's life partner, Bryan, and that's the thing, man. Bryan's a little cuck. Like Garrett and Dave never really bicker. Dave goes out of his way for Garrett. Garrett's his guy, but he's kind of like the side piece. And then Bry's like the old wife at home, getting cheated on, getting slapped around, being fucking, he's cooking dinners and all this shit. And then he's got to argue. He's got to hear the arguing and the anger, right? And then the side piece, Garrett, radio phones in and fucking... it's all lovey-dovey and they have a great time and everything like that. So on the Bryan and Vinny show, they have a little therapy sesh, but Bryan is tortured and forced to listen to Dave drone on about the Ali Act at 1:30 a.m. on a Wednesday night. And Bry's up late. They're up until 1:30 a.m. talking about, it's like, I heard, it's like, Jack Perry and Marco Stunt 5 stars buyout. And I pushed for Tony Khan not to go on Coaching, bro. Right? So Bryan's just getting fucking tired of it. Let's take a listen. Shout out Meltzer said what? Give him a follow on X.
Ooh. Brian Rose is in the chat right now. The other Brian on this website, he says, confirming NXT was terrible. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it starts with NXT 8. You can't make it up. Sorry. That popped me, dude.
Tired.
I'm tired. Listen, he's exhausted. He's short. He's old. He's tired, dude. It's late.
Wednesdays, Observer Radio always starts so late. So tired. We always start late, and then he has to go into some Like, he spent like 20 minutes on the Ollie act. We're talking
Oh my God, he's destroying Dave Meltzer. Oh my God. The breakup's happening. It's coming. It's over. Prenup. Holla, we want prenup. We want prenup. Who gets F4? Does Dave take it in the divorce? I don't know. Lex.
I don't know.
Me neither.
about boxing at 1:25 in the morning. I'm like, oh my God. I haven't even started the review yet. And then I go to bed. I'm tired. I wake up the next day. And then today, it's like, this is my writing day. Thursday and Friday are my writing day for my new book, everyone, Pro Wrestling for Dummies.
Oh my God, yeah. Brian, you meant to write Pro Wrestling by Dummies, okay? By a dummy, right? It was a typo, bud.
And I got up, made my way through a workout somehow.
Brian's the last guy who should be writing that book.
I did Observer Live. I ate, took a big old fucking hit of caffeine. And I just started writing and writing and writing and writing and writing.
It seems like everything he does is like he doesn't want to be doing it. And he doesn't want to. He's like angry that he has to write this book. Nobody asked you to write a book, asshole. And you're tired and you're burnt. Take a break. Just take some time off the Observer, dude. No one will. Lance Storm and Filthy Tom Lawler got it, buddy. And Vinny. Shout out Vinny.
And writing until my brain was numb. And then I ate. And then I finished this chapter here. I'm 75% done, I think, as of right now. And I am spent. Can you tell us the subject of what you read?
He's tired. He needs rest. He needs a vacation. You're tired, buddy. Pump the brakes. Quit watching NXT. At least, hey, Brian, at least take NXT off. Can we do that if you're that burnt out? Jesus Christ.
What are you about today? Today I had to write about
miserable, dude. Why are you writing a book then? If it's this fucking, I cranked out 75% of the book that morning. I was just writing and writing and writing, and boom, 75%.
Territorial era. Can you imagine?
This will be covered in one day, I'm sure.
God. Jeez. You know how many territories there were? More than 3?
Several territories.
Oh man, that is fucking hilarious. F1 WGP7 gifted 5 Pro Wrestle Clips memberships. Let's fucking go. Huge support. Thank you so much. Round of applause, everybody, for F1 WGP7. Let's go. You guys are digging the Dave hatred today. I am fucking glad. That rules, dude. Thank you so much for the huge support. Oh, man. Chat, is this not fucking unbelievable? Bry's just so tired. See, I speak no lies. He's burnt. You can see it. He's old. He's short, right? It's just getting to him, man. And Dave's getting to him. Okay, Dave's getting to him. And now we're gonna really dive in to the Dave Meltzer stuff, right? So we got WWE stuff. We have AEW stuff as well when it comes to Dave. And we have some TNA versus AEW stuff, which the war is heating up, and I am so happy that it is. And like seeing things like New Japan trending right now, that warms my heart, But one thing Dave did, which we all knew he was going to do, was fucking crash out over the Coach and Bro appearance of Tony Khan, or Tony Khan's appearance on the Coach and Bro. And your boy Phil EFAP the whole thing for like 2 hours. Go and watch it. It was a running, PWT running. But Dave crashed out. This is from SC Jerk Community, courtesy of Triple HHH, Paul L, Triplehausen's thoughts. And so here's Dave Meltzer getting so mad after Tony Khan confirmed that Dave Meltzer told him not to go on that
guy's
show.
Tony Khan.
So we know that he's consulting. We know that they're consulting just professionally, if not like what podcast appearances, like as friends, they're consulting. Like, do you have a friend you call who gives you advice, or like maybe your wife? Everybody has a person where like, or your husband, I don't know, whatever you do, but everybody has that person that they like float to ideas by, or run how they're feeling or their plans, or is this a good idea? And it's always someone, typically someone you can trust, right? So Tony Khan trusts Dave Meltzer enough to come to him, or at least take advice. And let's say he didn't even go to Dave and ask, hey, should I go on this show? Dave at least floated that advice out there, had a spurg out on X, and he fucking talked about it on the Radio Observer show. So this is from SC Jerk Community on Reddit. Dave Meltzer had this to say, and we need to warm up some flutes for this, because this is just another legendary meltdown. He's emotional. Dave is seething. He's losing his hair. The fucking Just for Men won't hold. And it's because Bry is getting tired of his shit, and Dave is getting tired of Tone's shit a little bit. And so Dave goes, Coachman said, I told Tony, when in fact I never even contacted Tony once. Evidently, others who heard the show and listened also said Tony never said I contacted him. Why would I? Just said I wouldn't do it personally in the same situation on a show. So perhaps Coach and bro, let me tell you, perhaps they interpreted what Tone was saying, because Dave did just suggested on his show. However, what the implication is there is that Tony's listening to Dave like gospel. Either Dave told him not to do it, or when Tone listens to Dave's show, he's like, yeah, he told me not to do it. Like, he takes it personally what Dave's saying. And this is what motherfuckers have been saying for a long time. It's almost like a dog whistle. Like, we know when he's talking to Tone, and Dave stooged already. Tone called me in 2019. Tone, you've called him on the air. Not to mention, Dave stooged that he pushed for FTR not to fucking do the overrun thing on the pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? So we move along here. Dave Meltzer says, Russo doesn't even read. Now, hey, this might be a based Dave right here, okay? I don't know if it needs another based. No. When Dave says, like, Russo doesn't even read, he literally means the Observer. Like, this is how much of I don't know what the word is, a sociopath Dave is. When he uses the term read, he literally just means, like, read the Observer. Like, the word read in his vocabulary, in his mind, in his universe, in his bubble, means the Observer. Why would you read anything else? But also, Vince Russo likely doesn't read at all, so I'm with him on that. He could be both, I guess. Yeah. But Vince Russo, yeah, he says like one thing, and I'm not even trying to hate on Russo, but it's just the truth. He says one thing, and then it's the complete opposite when he's fucking on the air with Tone. As far as, like, he was funny, he was sort of comedic relief, but he's like, I haven't watched wrestling in 5 years. I haven't watched AEW. I quit the wrestling business. Now I work in JCW, and let's work together. Tone, bro, we take over the wrestling business, you know? So he's just talking out of both sides of his ass. And so he claims he wouldn't even understand if he did, and constantly attacks. He never, well, see, here's the thing. Dave is mad that Vince Russo laughs at and felts Tony Khan with Jeff Lane, like him drinking triple cups and him, you know, Steamboat Tone videos and shit. Like, we all do that. So it's not an attack. I'm under attack. Tony Khan's under attack. He's the quartering. He's under attack. But listen, it's like, it's not an attack, bro. We're just like making fun of shit. Like, it's just the internet. Like, don't upload the live off the Super Yacht Kismet if you don't want people to laugh at it. People do the same shit to Triple H. Is it attacking? Or is it just like, I don't know. Is it just making fun and having a goof? And you know what I'm saying? So they don't, Russo's never really attacked. Tony has been like, he is a mark, bro. Let me tell you, I know a mark when I see one. It takes one to know one, bro. Right? maybe he said some shit like that, but is that really a big deal? I bet Tony Khan's called people marks, right? I know Dave thinks that's like the N-word to call someone a mark, but either way, he's just super. Dave just doesn't like, he takes critique or criticism or refutation as an attack. They're attacking me. You know what I mean? It's like, no, dude, we're just reacting to what you're saying. We're just pointing out a flaw in your logic or perhaps challenging your news or your credibility. And it's not to take anything away from you. It's just you want to be the person who's the voice of the fucking news and shit.
Oh
So,
my
like,
God, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
People to do. So he goes, and I'm the only major reporter I know of who even touches JCW coverage. So you want to be a major reporter, but no one can criticize you, and you're the only one who touches JCW, but everybody's been talking about JCW. It's the topic. How does Kit Wilson's music go? I'm the topic. Everyone's talking about JCW, so what are you talking about? Dave Meltzer says, whenever anyone anywhere in wrestling talks about drawing the casuals or appearing to non-fans and doesn't talk about the company that has 35% of its audience fitting that bill and figuring out how they did it, their knowledge is woefully out of date. If they talk about it with that knowledge, you can disagree, but at least you know they follow today's fan base closely. So now listen to the cope. He's sitting there like, I analyzed why CMLL gets the most casual non-fan retention and appeal. Like, Dave, okay, that's WWE does that better than any company. And you just mauled and cry over everything they fucking do. So, like, what are you really talking about? Unk Dave here just fucking losing his mind. You can disagree, but at least you know they follow today's fan base closely. That has 35% of the audience fitting that bill. And then where does he come up? It's always like 35%, Bryan. 25, 30. It's always like 25 to 35% he makes up. Coach has zero clue, no insight, never in management, knows nothing outside WWE. There are dozens of right ways to do this, not one. Dave, if you want to be the challenger brand, all the ways that Dave thinks is the right way have never been proven to be the right way, or other people did it, then Dave just goes, look, that's a right way, but then it hasn't been replicated since like All Japan in the fucking 80s or whatever. You guys know what I'm saying? Like in the 80s, WWE was on top. In the 90s, they're on top. In the 2000s, they're on top. The 2010s, the 2020s, they're on top. So yeah, they've figured out many ways to do it throughout time as well. That's where Coach was. So he knows the ways that they did it then that might work. He might know some ways, not even to try and defend Coach. I think he goobs it up, right? It's a guy who's like proficient in golf, proficient in UFC, proficient in NFL, proficient in pro wrestling. As far as like commentary and his quote unquote analysis, I don't know how proficient you can be in all of those different things and being like the most on point motherfucker, you know, a master of many or a general of many, a master of none, or whatever the fucking old saying is. I probably just butchered it there, but yeah, it's just like all the ways Dave thinks is going to be the number one, like, yeah, Kenny and the Bucks and what they're doing in New Japan and shit. That's never worked. It's never been the number one shit. And I was watching WWE Vault or WCW channel. I forget which one. I think it was the WCW channel. And it was like the rookie year of Rey Mysterio. And man, the way Mike Tenay and Dusty Rhodes and these guys get over the concept of like, here's a guy from AAA. He's here challenging in our cruiserweight division. The way they would get it over was masterful, and that shit was secondary. The shit that Tone and Dave thinks is the most important shit, that was always secondary to getting the maneuvers over and this fast-paced style of wrestling that might be new to some, and getting over like the lore and the story of like what they're doing in their match and shit. And then it was like a side note. Mike Tenay would be like, and if Rey Mysterio wins this, the legendary Mexican promotion AAA will hold half of WCW's current championships. And Dusty Rhodes is like, oh yeah, that's right, Daddy. That's right, Mike Tenay. And then it would just move on to, now you see here, Rey Mysterio is not if he can't move, Dean Malenko's working that left arm over, Daddy. He can't move, he can't fly, he ain't gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was always secondary instead of Excalibur yelling at us about fucking. So you guys get it. I go off on this shit all the time. Dave Meltzer's just so out of touch. He has no fucking clue what works more than anyone. I would say Coach and Vince Russo could team up and probably do better than Dave would do if he had fucking Tone's resources, you know? He said once that pro wrestling could never be successful on TV on a Saturday night. For those who know any history of wrestling, I mean, I agree. Coach is not like the sharpest tool in the shed when it comes to fucking like, you know, he was a performer and shit. He went from a commentary guy, or he went from like a backstage interviewer, then he was a commentary guy. He was on screen. He kind of did some heel shit. I'm sure he did some stuff backstage like that we don't know about. But yeah, is he like, I mean, did he come from like the Vince school of thought? Possibly, whatever that means, you know, but Dave Meltzer doesn't know any better than Coach, though, is the point I'm getting at. So for those who know any history of wrestling, that's quite a statement, isn't it? Those who don't study think they know more than people studied it more than anyone, which, I mean, that may be true. There's like the Dunning-Kruger effect. And yeah, I mean, that I think that is true. But at the same time, it's like, that's the thing. Dave is so caught up. He's so lost in the sauce of what he thinks because he has studied so much, like minute details, probably all the way down to everything that matters, though. Like, he's overanalyzed it to the point where he thinks that there's nothing more to learn. He thinks that there's nothing new that can be changed, or he has to reject anything that isn't him learning. He's worked himself into a position where he thinks he's the leader. Like, if he doesn't verify it, then it cannot possibly be true because I am the Stephen Hawkings of wrestling. And that's just not the case. You know, it just really fucking isn't, Dave. And people are trying to point that out to you, but it's like cognitive dissonance. You've like created a fucking wall around yourself. And it's not like you're incapable, or maybe he is at this point. Maybe he's getting like dementia and shit. Has Dave had any strokes we don't know about, or that we do know about that I don't know about, or whatever? And not to at a fucking stroke, but to like, is there something going on that like I don't know about? Maybe, you know? Got to talk to his doctor or something. But yeah, he had a meltdown, and he melted down before Tone even went on the show. So we check in with Dave over here, and well, one thing, he actually got owned. So let's take a look at this clip right here, right? And Tone got owned, or pardon me, Dave got owned by Tone because pretty much, well, let's read this excerpt. Here's Dave Meltzer. Shout out Switchblade 97. So here's Dave Meltzer saying he was told outright not to ask about Tony's bid on WWE. So did Tone tell him flat out, don't ask me about it? Or did Dave just make that up to try and protect Tone, to dog whistle and let other reporters know not to ask Tone about it? Like, either thing could be true. That's what's crazy. Like, you know, Dave's going to try and protect
the
him.
best guy is Tony Khan.
So did he just make that up, or was Tony Khan really, or was it just the Coach and Bro brought it out and now Tone's like, whatever, I'll fucking talk about it, I guess. But if this is the case, like, this is what I mean. Dave, you're a shill. Tone told you not to ask about it, so you ain't even going to ask about it, are you? Meanwhile, Tone's going on Coach and Bro. Tone's going to be on Keeping It 100 coming up soon as well. So stay on the lookout for that. He's going to return to K100. They're going to ask him about it. But you're a little butt dog, dude. You're a little fucking butt dog. You're a little whipping boy, Dave, and you do what Daddy Khan tells you, dude. It's now Daddy Khan. I think Dave's been Khan's son this whole time. So I was told outright before even asking about the subject that the two subjects Tony Khan will not talk about are Tony Storm and the story about his company putting in a bid to purchase WWE in 23. Storm did an injury angle on television and did an autograph signing over the weekend, not selling any injury at all. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, don't Don't ask about it. And Dave's like, okay, Daddy, I swear I won't.
Covered back in 23 all of the different.
And he just got cucked, and that's why he's melting down. They don't know anything. Really? Because they know more about this than you, bud, because they fucking actually asked him. And they weren't afraid to do it. And they were doing journalism, some shit you don't do no more, Dave.
Different people who bid
shills.
to buy WWE. And it came out that a company that you own
They might be trying to get jobs, but they ain't shilling.
bid about $6.9 billion, I believe, to buy the WWE. Why did you do that?
I was very interested in.
I put out a tweet about this too. I was like, monopolization, Vince McMahon, MAGA sex pedo defender or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because that would be Tone dealing with all that if he bought WWE. He wanted to do it knowing that all of that was a possibility too. So where's Elbu going? If you like WWE, that's you have internalized racism. Remember when he said that about like Tyrese Halliburton or whatever the fuck? Or like not about him, but he said that. And then he had like, I think Tyrese Halliburton on his show. And he was like, nah, dude, WWE is where it's at. You know what I'm saying? So Tony Khan has internalized racism, MAGA, pedo defender, Vince, sex criminals. Is that what it is? Sickos? Is that Tony Khan? Okay, got it.
Process. And I think that if there was going to be a sale, I would at least want to have a chance to be involved. And if it had gone for any less than that, I would have really kicked myself.
So they just asked, dude, it's what it is. And Dave was just won't, he's not a journalist. He's a shill. This is why we think you shilling, dude. So here's Dave Meltzer again before it even went down, I believe. Yeah, this is before it went down. And Dave's like, I wouldn't do it. How dare you do it? Why would you do that? They questioned you before, Tone. Why would you do it? And it's like, well, because Tone's not being a fucking baby because he sees the writing on the wall with this Paramount shit and he's really going to try and turn shit around and make it look more like a sports entertainment company to try and fucking secure himself a TV deal or show that there's value or possibly even work with WWE because he tried to fucking buy the company. You ever think about that, Dave? You ever think about that fucking New Japan ain't the end all be all and fucking ROH 15 years ago ain't where everybody wants to be?
Tony Khan's on Russo's podcast.
Number one, he is plugging a pay-per-view this weekend. So I think that, you know, he wants to get out publicity on the pay-per-view, and he'll probably be pushing that.
He sounds so disappointed. I mean, he just probably wants to push publicity for the pay-per-view. They didn't talk about Dynasty once, Dave. So you're wrong. You're fucking wrong.
Oh my God, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Like Bryan talking about Zaruka, you're fucking wrong again. He didn't even talk about Dynasty once. I don't even think he plugged it. He plugged his fucking dying MacBook in. He didn't plug anything. I don't even think he said, we're on TBS. I don't even think he said that. Okay?
Learn, baby, learn. Meltzer Inferno.
I think that maybe going on that show too right now for him is kind of like this thing of, you know, they can go out there and these people who have said all this stuff about him for years and years and years, and you can kind of go out
They
there.
didn't say all this stuff. They just laughed at him like choking on water while talking to Ariel Helwani, and they laughed at him being triple cup Tone. He even had a fucking T on his cup, dude. It was the funniest thing, dude. I swear to God. It was like one of the funniest. It popped me so hard. Go and listen to my EFAP. Go and watch my EFAP of the whole Coach and Bro show. Shout them out too. Shout out Coach and fucking Bro. That was a great. I'm glad that they did this interview. Gave me tons of good content.
But like, look, you know, like we're successful as hell. And
like, look, we're successful as hell. I'm going to go on there and be like, look, we're successful as all get out. Meanwhile, wrong. That's not what Tone did. They said, yo, you have your audience, right, Tone? Here's how we can get it bigger. Or what, like, you know, there's an audience outside of that we want you to get. Tone goes, well, you know, we fucking like with what we're rocking with. We like the people we have. That's what Tone said. So it wasn't, oh, we're super fucking. So he didn't do anything. Dave's just coping and fucking before it even happens. Well, it's just like, hey, we're successful as hell. Who you trying to convince, huh? You are coping and seething. You just can't accept what you're seeing. Yes, you're coping and seething. The truth it is scalding, and now you are molding and coping so hard, coping and seething.
And so it's kind of like the people who said you're doing terrible, you don't know how to do this, whatever. But it's an interesting dynamic. I mean,
Tone went into that interview, and Dave's like, "Oh, the people who said you don't know what you're doing, and you don't know everything you're doing is wrong." And then Tone went into that interview and was like, "I'm just going to take the higher road. That's what Jesus would have wanted." I stopped, and even when Vince and them were trying to talk him back into his old ways, right back to my old ways, right? They were trying to talk him into like, go cutthroat and talk shit. And Tone's like, nah, I'm doing what I'm doing now. And it was actually bass Tone. And Dave's like, nope, you can never learn. Since day one, he's been A1 since day one, Bryan. He never learn anything. He should never change or evolve. And the show isn't more WWE. There isn't more promo packages. There isn't more vignettes. There isn't more recaps. There isn't more advertising for All In. There isn't more fucking promo segments where they're talking back and forth and shit, Dave. There's no contract signings and returns and where it's just an entrance and then Jericho leaves the ring, then it goes to commercial, Dave. They aren't doing any of that, huh? They aren't WWEing it up, and he's not talking shit. So Tone's changed, but Dave's like, nope, from day one, who said he couldn't do this, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, Tone was like humble and like, nah, dude, I'm not going to fucking do that anymore. I'm not going to, whatever. He didn't even glaze himself. We're super successful. He was just like, we're doing things this way, and this is the way I see best, and I oversee everything. And I'm not saying you got to agree with everything Tone said, but like he just went in there and the complete opposite. He's like, no, I kind of learned from my past, is what he said. Like, I kind of am choosing to take the high road now. Dave's like, nope, they all said he was wrong in the beginning. Yes, we were right. He was wrong to go after Shawn Michaels and Triple H and them, and not because poor WWE, and not because like it's morally wrong, but just because of how it backfired, like everybody said it was gonna. Like that was stupid to like bring up Cena and Undertaker when you're struggling, when your fucking ratings were struggling and shit. Like it was cooked to do that, and he realizes that, but Dave doesn't get that. Well, I'm talking about the business, Phil Marks. Okay, but they're not making money the way you lied about they were either, Dave. They're not making $3.6 million a week. No one said that but you. The only time Tone's ever said anything was hopefully start making money. We went over that interview like 6 months ago, a year ago, where he said, well, I think it was like a year ago, hopefully we'll start making money, or whatever the fuck he said, however he worded it. You know what I'm saying?
That they'll kind of do a 180 on him anyway.
You know what I'm saying?
And, maybe if he doesn't hire them, maybe they'll go right back to where they were. But it's an interesting concept, he's not going to say anything bad about any of these people who do nothing but talk bad about him. I think the last time, I think he reacted to an Eric Bischoff tweet. And I think maybe after that, he just
an Eric
decided
Bischoff
that no matter what he does, I guess it's the old thing of like, it's the old thing of I'm just going to say whatever. I don't know if I was muted, chat. Let me know. I'll check in in a second too. Sorry, I didn't see that. Just compliment them, which I'm sure he'll be doing. Kind of weird. I mean, like I would just say that like, if there's people who are criticize you in good faith, and you want to do that, it's one thing, but when it's bad faith people, do you really want to do that? It's not even giving them publicity. It's just like they're bad faith people. So there'll probably be a lot of talk. He'll probably say a lot of stuff. They probably won't challenge him on his
bad faith. It's bad faith, Bryan. Jesus Christ.
Points.
Maybe they're bad faith. Why are they bad faith? Because they're gonna have an honest discussion. That's bad faith to Dave.
Well, we'll see. I mean, it's intriguing
It's
People talk about
intriguing. People talk about. He's just mad that it's not his shill interview, and it's not going to make headlines like his shill interview. It's all fucking Dave is upset about with this. Yeah, here. Okay, no more coaching bro stuff. So that was his meltdown over that. I'm not a shark, I'm a man. Member for 1 month. Took a few nice little peach-colored Tony vitamins last night and downloaded WWE 2K26 New Gen and Golden Era Creator Wrestlers until 3 a.m. Yeah, dude, I got a pretty sick. I got a Jericho. I got a Benoit where I'm just working on the moves. I got an Oli, like all the Four Horsemen. I did Tully, Flair, Oli, and Arn. I'm trying to find someone get an Onita and an Inoki up there. Like, what are we doing on community? I'm on Xbox, dude. We should do an online GM mode. Eric Bischoff, who knows more about the business than Dave. Also, Dave challenged Eric to run a successful show. Now Dave never mentions that. Exactly. Same with AAA and Conan. Was I muted there, chat? I might have muted myself when I was going off as well, but let the butt hurt flow through you. Dave says like more than a Valley girl. Yeah, he's a Valley girl. It was a joke. Main event in 1 minute. They think Jesus was like Bob Backlund, but not Hulk Hogan. He's still a prophet, just not the Christ. Okay, what are we talking about? Let's not get don't start preaching your fucking ideologies over it. No, I'm just joking. You know what they say. Okay, let's continue because now we just have Dave like talking about WWE and AEW while on the topic of tone in AEW. Here's Dave and Bryan recapping and talking about AEW and actually kind of criticizing it for being a little bit cheesy at times. Okay, so let's check this out.
Your diverticulitis is at a place where your intestines could explode.
And they did this last week as well, so this isn't a rehash, but it's just more of them being like, well, this is kind of phony. And Kenny Omega, he's better at just cutting his promos. He should cut the goodbye, kiss, kiss, goodnight, bang, finger, bang, bang. He's just cut that out of your act, dude. He's doing better on the stick. I don't like suit Omega. I don't like that shit. But I will say this. Like, he should just dress cool. Like, does he not know? He either comes out dressed like a schlub, like he just came from the gym, or in like a nice suit. Buddy, just dress cool like you did when you were like Bullet Club, leather jacket, leader, fucking do that shit. And cut out the cheesy punchlines or whatever, and don't do the phony overacting. Just talk shit and wrestle, you know?
Your life is on a fast winding clock.
Doesn't this like make like AEW like
Dave
sound like
should we
horrendous?
Should we just get to the point here? Okay. So yes, they're telling a story.
Bry's fed up with Dave here. It's like 2 a.m. He's like, Dave, I got fucking children. I got a family. Okay, you old son of a bitch. Who cares? Let's just fucking break down. This was shit. Bry just wants to go, this was shit, but he can't, or Dave will cut him off.
Where at any moment, Kenny Omega could die.
Kenny Omega could die from a wrong blow.
At any point in any of these matches. What is this place? Kenny Omega could die at any time of diverticulitis. Will Ospreay, like, his neck is shattered again, but like he's getting in the ring after taking a brain buster on the floor outside. The doctor's like letting him decide, and then like I'll say this.
That happens in other companies too.
I know this guy likes stories like this and everything like that. I don't think that AEW fans
everything
really
like this, and you can get with that, or you can get with this, Bryan, or you can get with that, Garrett.
Want Bryan. Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay to constantly be
rhyming Bryan.
Bryan.
Let's go.
That store.
I agree.
It was cool when Kenny came back and you didn't know about that first match, you know, that famous match with, but like once the first match is over, you know, it's like, okay, is he good or not? And the same thing with Will Ospreay. Like, we're told that he's cleared. We're told he's good to go, but like he goes in there and is constantly murdered and constantly selling that his head's going to fall off. So I think that that's one of the reasons that this match didn't have like great heat. It's like, I don't think people just want to sit there and be worried that this guy's going to get killed at any moment. That's my speech.
Yeah, I mean, he's being fairly critical. I don't know why I don't know why Bry isn't like yelling like the way he was about this. Was way when Kenny was like spitting up the blood. That was way more egregious than like whatever Zario was doing. I don't know. So we move along here. Here's Dave talking about the same issues with the Raw viewing experience on Netflix every single week, Brian. Getting ahead of myself here. Goddamn. So here is Netweek coming to you soon. Download it, guys. Link below. So here is Dave. It's where you get to watch things for 1 week, then they go away. Dave Meltzer, whose memory only lasts a week here, is complaining about Raw on Netflix. Let's check it out.
Well, we got to talk about Raw, and that means we got to talk about your viewing experience, Dave. How'd it go?
It kind of sucked. I mean, I don't know what was wrong today. Obviously, every week Raw is different.
Every week there's a new disaster.
Well, it's not necessarily a disaster.
Every week there's a new disaster. You guys are just lying. Liar! Yo, okay, so 1 week, the fans see the commercials. The next week, it's just like them, the wrestlers posing, and it's like boo, boo, boo. And meanwhile, that's what the international people get for SmackDown for half the commercials, then half you get to. Every week, there's a new disaster. Like what? Name a disaster. The fuck you talking about, buddy?
Have a disaster. Yeah. So I think I tuned in about 45 minutes in.
And all the disasters already happened. A hurricane. Yeah, it rolled through my place as well last week.
Want to start the beginning, and it would not let me start the beginning.
So now they're talking about the rewind feature or the play from start, which I think they remedied. And like people just melted down on X. It's like, okay, guys, they're gonna fix it, right? So like that whatever happened, obviously that's a big fuck up, but like for any live event, they allow you the ability to replay or play from beginning or whatever. They obviously weren't going to keep that a part of it. And if it's still going on, then maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know. I had Raw on the other day. I was rewinding, starting from the beginning. I fucking went back and rewatched the last 15 minutes of with Brock and Oba and all of that. And when they announced Demon Finn and all of that of Raw. So I don't think it's persisting. Maybe it's just in America. I don't. Chat can let me know, or let me know in the comments. But again, they're like, it's a new disaster. Okay, one Raw, it fucked up. Like, did that happen on a Star Search episode? It's new. They're like new to doing live shit all the time, and then they keep adding the ad timers as well. Like I notice whenever they switch the way they present the ad timers, I notice there's always like a fuck up of, oh, the audio isn't working for like 4 minutes, and then but it's not like a disaster. A disaster is when a Taco Bell commercial like it's going to be on replay. That's the whole point of streaming, right? A hockey game, the idea, especially with you marks like Dave and Brian who want to pretend it's real wrestling, it's a real pro wrestling, man. Okay, so a hockey game you don't turn on and then rewind to the beginning. If you catch it in the middle, oh, it's the second period, you're fucking watching from the second period, bud. So maybe they were trying that. Maybe they wanted to see the fan backlash from that. If that was the case, I don't know. But again, it's like a disaster is like Taco Bell commercial coming up when you're trying to get Jack Perry over, or fucking all of a sudden refunding all the Amazon pay-per-views and then barely covering it. That's a disaster. Oh, fuck, we have to refund all of the Amazon pay-per-views because the feed's blacked out. And Tony Khan's got to turn his comments off, and Dave Meltzer's going to fucking put a one-liner in the Observer about it this week. That's a disaster.
I could only start.
It was a Becky Lynch.
I started with Becky Lynch. Yes.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Well, because about an hour or an hour and a half into the show, all these people on Twitter were complaining that you couldn't rewind. And then other people were like, well, you can rewind, but it only lets you rewind 30 minutes. And so I went up and I rewound. It let me go back 35 minutes, but it was to the beginning of the Becky segment. And then everybody else.
It's a fucking glitch. So it glitched out with the commercials. That's exactly what I said. And here's how that works, right? So if you're watching Raw, like even on replay, and then you fast forward a bit, and then let's say you fast forward up until like 3 seconds or like 5 seconds, or I don't know, 10. I don't know what the limit is on it, but you guys will notice this. Test this next time you're fucking watching it on replay, or just pull up your Netflix and try it. Fast forward a bit, and then for like a couple minutes, then hit play, and it will start you at where it comes back from commercial break. So that's actually Netflix trying to work out a cool feature so that you don't accidentally like, oh, I fast forwarded too much and I missed this little fucking. And so it just glitched out one of the episodes, and they addressed it immediately. So again, like it's okay the day of people melting down, but them just like every week it's a disaster.
Else was like, I
Really?
couldn't go earlier
Is
than
it
the
really?
Becky segment.
That's what was with me. I
Yes.
started with the Becky segment. I go, well, I want to watch the show in order. I don't want to watch the end first and then watch the beginning, which is what I ended up doing.
I got to the first commercial break, and that stupid screen
Okay,
came.
but Dave, you were doing that anyways because you tuned in 45 minutes late. So if this was 45 minutes late and it was on Spike TV back in the day or TNN or whatever the fuck, you would have tuned, or USA Network, you would have tuned in 45 minutes late, then you would have watched the beginning later anyways. So what are we talking about? Manage your time and get there on time. You're never 45 minutes late for Dynamite, Dave. And you're up until 2 a.m., 3 a.m. talking about it with Bryan. He's losing his fucking mind. So what are you guys talking about?
Up, and the little thing in the corner said there's going to be 8 ads. And I hit the button and it wouldn't let me fast forward. And I swear to God, I just thought, you know what? Fuck you, Netflix. And I started going like this, like over and over.
Oh, that's so intelligent. Pro Wrestling for Dummies coming to you from a fucking Curious George. This shorty pie here who's fucking furiously hitting buttons like a chimp in a zoo. Fucking, how does this work? Fucking cutie Bryan Alvarez over here. Cutie pie Bri.
And it skipped. Like it actually skipped past the commercials. So then the next one came, and
and that's the one thing too. If you watch on replay of Netflix, I will say this too. If you don't start rewinding when the ad fast forwarding when the ad is like pops up properly, then you have to watch those ads. Like you can't rewind or skip it or whatever. So you got to fast forward through the ad part quickly, and you can skip the ads that way, and then it will just play you from where I said, from when the ad comes back. That's a little trick too, but that's on replay. So you're talking about live Raw. I don't know about all that, right?
I hit the button and it was like an unskippable commercial. And so I tried the same thing. I just would not give up hitting that thing. I was like, unlike John Cena, I wouldn't quit. And after like hitting it like 3 or 4 times, it jumped forward.
Yeah, we get it. You're doing a radio show, asshole. Stop banging the table that your microphone's on. You're a fucking professional broadcaster.
Forward. So now, I don't know if it's going to be like this every week, but I did manage to skip the commercials.
Man, I hope it's not like this every week.
Just because I wouldn't quit hitting that stupid forward button.
Wow, super fucking... Bry's so angry. He's fed up. He's tired. He's losing his mind. He's losing sleep. It's affecting... I mean, in my opinion, it's probably affecting his personal life. I mean, that's a look at how he watches television angrily. Bri, you hate pro wrestling. Like, why do you deal with it? You hate it. It just infuriates you. It makes you angry. You have to stay up late. You're not getting sleep. It's unhealthy. You're trying to write a book and you have to crank out a bunch of it in the morning because Dave's cranking out a bunch of stuff while fucking writing about Dynamite and reviewing Dynamite, and he can't record. He spends 20 minutes on the Ali act and you're losing out on sleep, right? Time is precious, Bri. Like, just take a break, man. You need another vacay. I know you went away for 2 weeks, but were you writing your book then, buddy? Is that really a break? Like, you just hate this. You're tired. You're upset. You're yelling about it. You're fucking...
Well, we got to talk about Raw, and that means
seriously
we got to talk
breaking your remote in your living room over this? Holy. So Pat McAfee returned to WWE, or pardon me, Gunther returned to WWE as well. We're going to get into Pat McAfee stuff, but Gunther versus Rollins. Here is Dave's breakdown of Braun Breaker, and all the sheets were like, Braun Breaker was going to be there, and then he just wasn't there.
Gunther and Seth was not about Braun Breaker not being cleared, because in fact, Braun Breaker has already been cleared. They just made the decision that they didn't want to do Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker because they didn't know with such little lead time, because they think that that's like a potentially really big program.
When I watch TV, I'm fucking zen, dude. I'm like laying in the cut. I'm just like eating a snack, having a drink, just enjoying it, watching Daredevil, man. It's been pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Bri is just furiously I was watching Rey Mysterio's rookie year, just enjoying it. Went to sleep watching that shit. laid up, feet up, chilling. Fucking Bry's furiously on the couch, on the pull-out couch, fucking, oh, why doesn't this work? Meanwhile, he's like using like his Blu-ray player remote on the
So the decision on Gunther being in that match actually took place several weeks ago. It would have taken place
Bryan.
shortly after Bronson Reed tore his biceps. You know, it was one of those things where I don't know if I think this could be wrong. I think that it was going to be Seth and Logan Paul and then Reed and Austin Theory in the tag team program. It could have been Seth and Bronson Reed and then the same tag team program with Theory and Theory and Logan Paul. But the point is that the Bronson Reed injury opened up a spot because one of the Vision guys was going to be facing Seth, and it wasn't going to be Braun. Once they decided it wasn't going to be Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker and Seth are going to do a program. I don't know if it's going to be for SummerSlam. I don't know when it will be. Could be after Mania.
Again, like anybody could just say any of this. So, yep, he wasn't planning on doing Braun Breaker, but they will in the future. No shit.
But they wanted.
We all watched the show, Dave.
They didn't want to. They didn't want to do the match on with a 2-week build, so to speak. So they went with Gunther, and that's been decided. Like I said, that was decided shortly after the Bronson Reed injury.
You don't know, Dave. You don't know because all the stuff on the whiteboard on Unreal, you're like, all of that was correct, and then they don't do any of that. And then you're like, they changed plans. No, dude, they erased it off the whiteboard, then told you. So you don't know about what the deal is unless it was months ago. So shut the fuck up, bud. So here is Dave just glazing Kendall Gray, and I said this, man. And Dave, here's the thing. He puts Lola Vice over too, and he's like, they should probably go to AEW. And this is what Dave does. And I've been personally thanked by people in the biz for calling Dave out for this shit. Just how he affects people's fucking jobs and how he tries to persuade. And a lot of people call it out, but you get thanks, okay? For this, and not that Kendall Gray sucks or doesn't deserve to make all the money, but she doesn't deserve it all right now to go sit on the AEW Women's Champion and have no one care about you in AEW. She doesn't deserve it all right now. She's still laying her body of fucking work. She is talented. She is going to be a top woman in the biz, and she's going to have a bright future. Everybody knows that. Everybody can see that. Dave's now glazing Lola Vice because of this match, and Dave is like, they should just go to AEW. And this is Dave advising Tone to fucking the same way he was like, Tone shouldn't go on the Coach and Bro. He's advising Tony Khan to hire them, give them all the money in the world. And he's trying to dog whistle. He's trying to signal to her, hey, you'll make millions. I'll make sure. I got Tone on speed.
The best guy's Tony Khan.
You'll make millies if you go there, right? And Kendall Gray needs to denounce Dave, and in the way that Nathan Frazier did. All Nathan Frazier did, and I always point to this, right? Dave was like, Nathan Frazier, 5-star. He should go to AEW. He'd be treated like blah, blah, blah. He's saying the same shit. And then he rated one of Nathan Frazier and Axiom's matches like a 5 stars. And then Frazier quote tweeted it and went, rare Dave Meltzer W. Dave's never glazed him since.
Poor people don't like AEW.
And so Kendall needs to just do something like that. But again, she doesn't want him to not glaze her, right? Like he doesn't want him to not Nikki Glazer. Oh, go Glazer. I barely met her. Oh, I don't even know her. Go. I'm over here now. Right? So now he's talking Lola Vice too. And you got sickos going Lola Vice and blah, blah, blah. She would never go to AEW. She flat out said that in an interview with Ariel Helwani. Dave, you would know that if you studied and learned.
This just in, we have confirmed that Dave Meltzer fears PWT and flutes.
And Kendall Gray, I don't think would go there either. I really don't. And the other problem is like, why is Dave so insistent on, and I need all the sickos and Brian and Dave and all you fuckers to listen to this right now. Why is AEW just all about Dave always pushing poach NXT's developed fucking stars? They'll go make millies there. Take Javon. Come on, Tone. Get Javon. He had Javon. He fucking fumbled it. Tone doesn't know how to make a star. Why doesn't Tone develop a fucking star? Why do you want him to just sign all of the NXT people? Is it because the PC fucking rules? Jesus Christ. So let's take a listen to this.
Kendall Gray is
she's
super unbelievable.
She's going to be the best woman wrestler this country has ever produced. Seriously. I've never seen, she's way better than Mercedes was at the same stage. I'm not saying she's the biggest star, but in the ring, who's even at her level of wrestling in the past, present, or future? There's nobody.
So they end up doing a deal where Lola gets her in a guillotine. Kendall's trying to get out of the guillotine. She can't get out. So she does a Northern Lights suplex. The referee in the ring counts 1, 2, 3. And the crowd goes, oh, she beat her with the Northern Lights suplex. So the referee goes to raise Kendall's hand. But the referee who was on the outside jumps in the ring and goes, no. Kendall tapped. And in fact, they show a replay. And as the ref is on one side counting the pin, Kendall is still in the guillotine, although she's done the Northern Lights, and she taps. So it is, in fact, a disputed finish, which is fine. I don't care about a disputed finish or a three-way at the pay-per-view, but they have Shawn Michaels come down and start talking to the referees, and the fucking show goes off the air. They don't even make an announcement on the actual television show.
Oh, my God, Bri. You're so garbage. You're trash, buddy. Pack it up, buddy. Get some rest. Get some sleep. They don't even announce on the show. It's like a real fucking sporting thing with an ended time. You know what I mean? It ends at a certain, well, maybe a sport would go overtime and they'd make the announcement, but it is a scripted show. It ends at the time it fucking ends. They haven't made the decision yet. This isn't AEW where all of a sudden Excalibur reads off 12 fucking matches before they go off air and expect you to remember what night they're on and when they happen. Bri. Man, it's just like the social media numbers rival everything else. So it's going to get clipped. It's going to get put on Twitter. They're going to make the announce. They give you a reason. Well, what happened? They didn't even announce it and tell me everything right then and there. Oh, so like maybe you got to tune in next time and fucking see what the decision's going to be. Or maybe you got to go look them up on Twitter and give them a follow and go, what the fuck's going on? I need to know what happened. Huh. Seems like you were very intrigued, and now you're, instead of like, well, they hooked me. I mean, I got to figure out what happens next. I got to figure out what happens with this match. Instead, it's a negative to Bri. It's just cooked, man. You need sleep.
Oh, that last week, like 600,000 people watched or whatever. And then it took them 2 days to go on social media and tell us it was going to be a three-way at Stand and Deliver.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that sucks. I don't know. It's just underestimating the power of the social media. It's the same thing with the fucking Goldberg, them cutting Goldberg off, and then it was on socials, and then that's what was trending instead of All In. I just think they know what the fuck they're doing. They want to leave a cliffhanger. They want you to be like, what the fuck? I got to watch Stand and Deliver now. I got to watch. What the fuck? Oh, let me follow you on socials and see what the fuck is going on. Holy shit. Am I subscribed to their YouTube? What the fuck happened? Is there any, what? It's like when you watch a movie and then there's a Reddit forum or thread that's made to explain the ending for every movie ever. If you're ever confused, you just look up, what the fuck? Even the newest movies, people leave the theater and Google, or they look up on Reddit or something like that. What did people think of the finish and shit? You know what I'm saying? So it's just creating a little anticipation for the big show. I think and why are they doing that? It's because the build maybe wasn't the best to Stand and Deliver. There wasn't a lot of hype on it. And so I don't entirely blame them, but it is maybe a little hot shotty, but Bri was hooked. You see how excited he was and like, oh, this is great. He's just talking about how great this shit is. And then he just, this was bad at the very end. That Dave's looking at him. Come on now, Bryan. Don't just be all good. Don't be all happy. You didn't look tired when he's like mimicking the fucking boom, bing, bang, right? Look at Bryan. He's all animated and happy and shit. And then Dave's like, okay, Bryan. He looks down. Sorry, Daddy. That's the look. Oh, I'm sorry, Dave. Yeah, it was bad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Unc. I'm just being a hater. So again, we have more WWE stuff, and they talk about Pat McAfee returning and roasting the IWC and all of the Twitter marks and everything. And of course, Dave and Bry are offended by it because that's what they are.
What's the story with Pat McAfee being the secret caller to Randy Orton?
So this is what I know is that, Pat McAfee was the first choice, and it was from Area Emanuel. That's where it came from.
Area Emanuel.
They wanted
Area Emanuel, dude. The disrespect. Fuck.
Celebrity involvement. It gets really, I hadn't really thought about this, but it gets really weird. Because
you don't say.
I'm not even talking about like this thing. So originally, from what I was told, Pat McAfee was a choice, and he turned it down. And then they were scrambling to get somebody else on the spot. And then obviously they were able to make a deal with him, so he did it.
Dave just told a lie. They asked him, he turned it down. Then they scrambled to find someone. Okay, but the reports are as far back as at least the Elimination Chamber is what other sheets are saying. He knew. And when he put out that thing going, I think the business passed me by, he obviously meant to do that. That was purposeful. So Dave's just lying to try and make it like it's real scrambly, everybody. When realistically, no, it's just they don't have The Rock, so they just got to go to McAfee because they're trying to position him as like he's going to be a Hollywood guy is what all the reports are, right? They want to make him like Sylvester Stallone or whatever the fuck people are saying.
This was not a WWE creative move. It was not a Paul Levesque move. It came over their heads, and there's a lot of people who were...
I disagree. Triple H was talking about how Pat McAfee is the face of WWE to many people. It's not. Triple H knows about it. Now, does he agree? Is it like the best creative that Triple H thinks they could be doing? No, but when they hit him with analytics and they go, well, here we have a crossover and this is where we should book this because this Triple H is the Dana White, right, Dave? So he goes, okay. And then he's the guy who fucking promotes it and puts his face on it and goes, I'll take the heat. I'll take the booze. I'll take the cheers. I'll take whatever you guys need. I'll put my stamp on it. I'll try and make the best out of it. But is he entirely against this? And from the Triple H Cody Rhodes interview, I think it's more clear that Rhodes and Triple H are more on the same team. They're on the same boat more than anything. And there may be some disagreements between like TKO and Triple H and Rhodes. I'm not denying that for one fucking second. But as far as like having McAfee involved in shit, like he was in angles with Vince and Stone Cold. They were doing this before any of this too. And Triple H has to be on board with it because that's part of fucking being in the WWE and part of TKO and part of fucking all this expansion and growing in this public company, global dominance, corporate capitalist shit, blood money, all the shit you guys complain about. In order to maintain that, you got to fucking do it. So it's not like he's not on board. It's not like if Randy Orton and Rhodes said, we refuse. And they really felt in their soul like we are not doing this. It wouldn't have fucking happened. They would have fit McAfee in somewhere else. You know what I'm saying?
Not happy about it at all. One person even told me it was the single most counterproductive thing in a long time that the company has done.
He won't say the same about Jericho, even though there's allegedly that some people are like, Tone, why the fuck did you bring Jericho back? Like financially, creatively, good thing he did well with Ricochet, although he had to bring back the list to do that. So is that really doing well? I don't fucking know, but we move along here. And here is Dave Meltzer talking about, again, WWE and AAA and all of this shit with the Alberto Del Rio stuff that came out. This got rehashed from the GOAT. Meltzer said what? And El Plethora tweets out, did Meltzer ever correct that report of him saying Alberto signed a deal with TKO? Meltzer said what? May 5, 2025. Meltzer tweets, May 8, Conan YouTube. August 4, the Observer story. So it's a timeline of events. Dave Meltzer on X. New contracts Alberto has signed with WWE. Yeah, I got hit up today. I've been having some, I've been bringing guests back on the show. I have my WrestleMania preview show with Husey dropping at the top of the week, PWT Pod. And I have someone lined up that has I think I can get lined up that maybe would be able to tell us about a little bit about this stuff, who's coming on the show. I think sooner or later would definitely know, like 100% know whether any of this is true or not. But I don't know. I don't know if what Dave ever said, like he didn't even know about the AAA deal or anything. It just came out of nowhere. And he's like, he studies CMLL. He didn't even know WWE's looked at buying CMLL too. You know what I'm saying? He didn't even know that. He still hasn't even talked about it. Maybe he has, but he didn't know about it beforehand. I thought you study CMLL and you're the CMLL god, right? So, I don't know. We will ask if I can get a certain gentleman on this show, on PWT Podcast, actually, not this show, then we will ask them about this, and they will more than likely definitively have an answer. A little tease, a little sizzle to some steak that I'll be serving you guys. Alberto's father is Dos Caras. Want to make clear I don't expect Alberto on WWE regular television. They are signing talent from AAA and for AAA. And this guy goes, Alberto's father is Mil Mascaras. Yeah, no. Wasn't he originally fired for misconduct and other things? Okay, whatever. Conan responds to Meltzer's fake Alberto Del Rio WWE return story, and Conan addressed it as well. Conan was like, he didn't sign new shit. They absorbed shit. Whatever he said, he said it on PWT Live or podcast as well. And then Dave writes his own story, correcting himself. As of right now, there are no plans for Patron in the U.S., but that could change. The belief is he will return to AAA soon. There are those in WWE who do want him on the main roster as they see his work as excellent in AAA, you know, since he was the most over guy, and see him now as a guy who can be a major heel. Meanwhile, he had to go to Crash, and they used him behind the scenes. And Ray was like, I swear to you, I'll get him on AAA or whatever the fuck he told the crowd. But basically Dave has to go and correct after Conan corrects shit, because Conan fucking works there, asshole, right? And he's sitting here going, yes, he signed with WWE. No, he didn't. No, he fucking liar didn't. Right? And he was producing in AAA. I don't know, I think, was he wrestling in that Crash promotion? He ain't anymore, goddammit. But again, man, he just gets cooked and he corrects himself. Fightful Select story. Alberto Del Rio's WWE status has not changed. Del Rio lost a match to El Messias this week, forcing him out of AAA just a couple of weeks after. Alberto Del Rio is said to be legitimately done with AAA. WWE has zero plans of working with him anytime soon. So Fightful and Dave Meltzer were like, yep, he signed. He got jobbed and kicked out of the company just a couple of weeks after signing with WWE and shit. Right? But he's done with them. He's legitimately gone. They have no plans. Okay, so they weren't going to fucking use him on TV, and you guys just made that up. And Ray and people felt like they might fight for it, but there was no, like, I don't know, man. It's fucking stupid. I shouldn't be able to tell you guys about Hot Lucha Summer for months before any fucking dirt sheets talk about it. It's just ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. So now Dave and Bryan cope big time over CM Punk's pipe bomb promo, one of the greatest promos in Punk's career, one of the best promos of the year, even though it's early in the year. I don't know how anybody is going to match this fucking promo. And of course, Dave and Bry have to be miserable about it. And let's take a listen.
If I didn't know better and I was just watching a wrestling show.
Oh, yeah. And then they cope about Ari Emanuel. And then he just invents this shit. If I didn't know any better and I was just watching a wrestling show. Dave, you don't know any better. And if you were a random casual watching this show, because he's about to say, you'd expect Ari Emanuel to come out and do an angle, blah, 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 blah. And this is why I think Triple H should have did that. Should have fucking just been the heel authority. It's what all these sickos and marks are begging for. But maybe they shouldn't listen. But that's the narrative, right? It's like us versus them. That's already what it is, which is only good for WWE, by the way. And they're going to say you'd expect Ari Emanuel to come out and be a character on the show. No. That's like saying I expect Harley Race to come out or whatever fucking baseball player he was talking about to come out and be a character on the show, Dave. If you're listening to this, you just assume Ari Emanuel is some fucking executive where you Google him and go, let's say you're even in the Google it crowd, you Google him and go, oh, he's an executive. It was one passing line that Dave's like, oh, I would expect Ari Emanuel to come out and work an angle, have a match with Aubrey Edwards, with Jessica Carr, ref Jessica Carr, Bryan. No, Dave, no one expects that. If they know who Ari Emanuel is, which they likely already do, and if they don't, then they just go, oh, it's some executive. Or they Google him and go, yeah, he's an executive. Siri, hey, Siri, who's Ari Emanuel? Oh, he's a guy on the TKO board. Oh, he's taking shots at the company. Or you go on Twitter and someone else clears it up for you, Dave. People aren't retarded like you. This is what he thinks of his audience. He's a shark-brained monster who does not have any inner fucking monologue or inner dialogue with himself.
Have the impression that there is going to be a heel faction with Ari Emanuel, Pat McAfee.
I did not say Harley Race was a baseball player. I said Harley Race, or didn't he bring up like a baseball player? Who did he bring? He dropped a couple names, okay? I was saying two different people, all right? You leave the baseball play into Sid.
The Rock and Vince McMahon. Now, I don't believe that all of those people will be involved, but it is interesting that they were all referred to in his promo. An interesting comment going on your own TV show and saying that your prices are too high. I guess maybe, though.
The impression is they're going to be lowering prices a bit for the foreseeable.
But do you see that? And Brian's like, how could people ever misinterpret the fact that I said that when I said what I said? Would people ever think that I said it was because of Punk's promo? Because when he was talking about Punk's promo, you interrupted him, Bryan, to go, well, the idea is they're going to be lowering prices after this promo.
Bryan.
But that's the guy writing Pro Wrestling for Dummies. A literal fucking dumb guy.
Future. I mean, you don't do that.
That was certainly the impression.
You don't do that angle and have the fans react in the way that they did. And then, like, they do things by design.
They are very, very reactive to the stuff they claim they're not reactive to at all. And one of the...
Who claims they're not reactive to it? Do they go out and be like, oh, Twitter noise is... Because the tickets being expensive isn't just Twitter noise, right? That's like just an objective reality. It's quantifiable. You can look at how much they cost and go, whoa, that's a lot of fucking cheese. Right?
Things is that in the last week or two, AEW has started pushing itself as the affordable ticket price group. And perhaps that's not a position that WWE wants to be seen as the group that is charging more.
No, WWE does want to be seen that way because they are that, and they go in the ring and go, we sell record gates, and then you guys go, oh, everyone cheered the capitalism? You're dumb, Dave. Like, you're just flip-flopping like a fish left out on a dock, flip-flopping up and down and around, doing 180s and 360s, grasping for fucking straws, grasping for a drop of that fucking water so you can breathe again. Because WWE's stepping on the throat of your fucking shit narrative you've been trying to peddle while you head out to Vegas to grift off Mania and charge 15% off your tickets, bud. Should have cut a promo about it. Maybe the sale would have worked better. You know what I mean? Like, they don't want to be perceived as the people charging lots for tickets. Buddy, you all were melting down when every time they announce what the gates are. And you called it a disgusting promotional tactic, literally, this year for last year. It was rated as one of the disgusting promotional tactics or whatever the fuck. It was like in the top 3 or whatever, top 2. Or did it win? It might even won that award. I forget because your awards are fucking meaningless and stupid, but what are you talking about? That's like your harshest criticism of that is them wanting to be known as they got nominated for most disgusting promotional tactic for bragging, quote unquote, about their success, but they don't want to be known as the successful company. Dave's just so fucking cooked and full of shit. Again, it's like the key demo in the overall rating. So here again, their takeaway from the Punk thing is, what's up with all the Vince McMahon mentions? And Lance Storm's like, oh, buddy, I'm about to quit watching Raw again there, buddy. Vince isn't my friend, guy. And then fucking he won't say anything when Jericho brings up Conor McGregor, his old tag partner. He'll keep watching AEW though. So they're like, what's with all the Vince mentions? Well, he's like the biggest fucking, because again, your narrative's crumbling down and they don't want to fucking shy away from the Vince shit. They never really did. If you really think about it, John Cena's been asked about it in public. Triple H brought it up at his fucking award speech for the Hall of Fame. Stephanie McMahon talked about it on her pod. Cody Rhodes brought it up. Triple H brought it up on Rhodes' podcast. What do you want to talk about? So have they ever really even shied away from it? Or did they just kind of quiet up on it and usher in the Triple H era, Dave? And just your narrative shattering. And everybody's known, well, they fucking have brought it up. It's a black eye. They got to deal with it, though. It's reality of what fucking their history is over the last how many years. You know? And why not take shots? Vince would have took shots at Ted Turner. He would have took shots at Heyman. He did. He'd take shots at everybody. Vince understands the business. He understands the fucking embarrassment he brought on the fucking business. Punk's going to bring it up and be like, yeah, fuck you. And there's heat with Triple H and shit too. It's not like he ain't going to fucking, it's not like he ain't okay with bringing it up. Not that like he wants to bury his kids' grandfather, but you know, they've always brought it up. Triple H brought it up at his Hall of Fame speech and everything. Like, I don't know.
I thought he did a hell of a job on the promo. And made many different talking points that obviously he could be criticized for, trying to pretend that he's the rebellion guy and all that. And he left because
he's the rebellion guy and all that. Well, he is, dude. And Rebellion's that's a TNA pay-per-view.
He had so much money and he didn't want to degrade himself. And the lines about Vince McMahon and everything, which is, I don't know.
See, the first time Punk left, he's like, I got fuck you money. I don't need this shit. Then he went to AEW and he's like, I'm old and rich. I don't need this shit. And then he came and said it in WWE. I'm too old and too rich to give a fuck. And Dave's like, it's all fake. Dude, he fucking smacked people in the last company he was in. It's like it's like as real as it gets. You know, it's as real as a fucking prime Mickey Gall rear naked choke. Am I right, Punk? Right? Or guillotine. What do you get him in? The RNC.
After this last week, I think that, you know, even alluding to Vince McMahon kind of gives me the creeps.
It gives you the creeps. Just alluding to him. Everybody's talking like Punk put him over and didn't bury him. And call him a creepy old man that made you eat dog food and shit to Roman. Oh, yeah, that's like putting Vince over. Kind of creeps me out. He might come back. So stupid.
They've actually done more of it of late than they've done.
And meanwhile, they got criticized for not ever mentioning Vince. Now they're okay with it, and now you got a problem.
And in months. You know, in years, actually.
I thought his delivery was pretty good, but man, this thing just went on and on and on. And even he acknowledged it. Like he buries Roman. He talks about The Rock. He makes fun of The Rock, calls him your bloated cousin on the board of directors.
Well, yeah, he also like goes the movie star, and he said the former movie star, right? So he's kind of like trying to say that. Well,
it's almost like they told him to go drop a pipe bomb, like he said, and he did, and he was like, it's almost like they're trying to work shoots on Raw and SmackDown with McAfee and Punk going off.
That Dwayne is a washed-up movie star, although I don't know, man. You know, like I mean, that Mark Kerr movie was a total bomb. You know.
Oh, okay. That Mark Kerr movie was a total bomb. It was an A24 picture, Dave. Okay, I think it did lose some money, even though Rock did take a pay cut. But I think he got a nomination out of that. So is it really a total bomb?
Financial standpoint, I mean, from an artistic standpoint, you can argue differently, but from a financial standpoint, but you know, when like Moana comes back,
so he can say that about The Rock, he can't say that about AEW. Okay,
or something like that. You know, He ain't a former star, you know.
But Dave, you're the one talking about how he is a former star and shit. And like Dave was saying that before, like The Rock's not as big in Hollywood as he was. So he wants to take, like, we covered all that. We've talked about Dave saying that Mystico's a bigger star than Roman. He goes to the theater and people don't react like, oh, it's Roman Reigns on screen or it's The Rock or whatever. It's just craziness, dude. He's always flip-flopping around whenever an opinion fits his narrative. And so here is Dave Meltzer talking about Pat McAfee. We just brought Pat McAfee up.
I mean, the questions we had last night, I mean, they were already answered about Pat McAfee. I mean, he went on his show today, and he was 100% in his wrestling promo bad guy character, insulting the fans and everything like that on his ESPN show. So as far as sincerity and credibility, I mean, on his show, it's not there at all.
He does a sports entertainment talk show, stupid. What do you mean credibility? Was he entertaining? Did he cut good promos? Was he fucking fun? Did you have fun watching his show? And you're a football fan or whatever. Okay, then that's his credibility. It's not credibility what you think that you have zero of, by the way, in your field, that he's at the top of in his field. I don't watch the Pat McAfee show all the time. I'm not the biggest fucking fan of it, but I'm not diehard football and shit the way other people might be, you know?
He's doing the character, but it's like, it's not a bad thing because ESPN is on board with all this, obviously. You know, they want, you know, I mean, they spent a lot of money for those pay-per-view rights, $325 million a year. And, you know, the numbers, obviously, because of ESPN Unlimited, they have not been big at all. They're much, much lower than they were on Peacock. And, you know, this is the big one. I mean, this is the one where they're counting on people buying that app, you know, to get WrestleMania. So if it takes, you know, Pat McAfee going on that show and talking about this over and over and over again and doing things to
what do you mean over and over and over and over again? He was doing that on his show when he was a good guy, Dave. He talked about WWE over and over and over again. He even brings up AEW, you little salty bitch. So again, like Dave just the people who are listening to Dave, other than like, and I don't even listen to McAfee all the time, but I know he's talking out of his ass because I pay attention enough to McAfee to know that he always talks about wrestling shit and he has wrestlers on and he talks about other sports, but he does wrestling shit and he does his big live fundraiser show where he gives away money and he has a bunch of fucking wrestlers on the show because he's a fucking WWE guy. Okay. Even if this shit goes to Netflix or his show stays on ESPN or it goes to fucking Hulu, whatever, you know, it goes to Amazon podcast, whatever the fuck it goes to, they're going to give him a bunch of money and he's going to have wrestlers on and talk about wrestling, whether he's doing his good guy shtick or his bad guy shtick. And he's always kind of playing a character on the air. It's what people do. We're entertainers, for fuck's sakes. Dave Meltzer doesn't understand this fucking concept. And so he's telling his audience, oh, he's going to go talk about it over and over again. I replay it over and over again. I need her so bad, Bryan. Yeah, because it's all in my head. Right? That's Dave Meltzer. And yes, McAfee's going to talk about it all the time. And yes, this is smart business strategy. This was always the plan, though. This isn't like some last minute. It's like this should go without saying if you studied the business, Dave. You know, this is what they've been doing the whole time with Pat McAfee on ESP fucking N.
Build up the show. I mean, I'm sure that they're for it because selling those pay-per-views is a whole lot, or, you know, not pay-per-views, but selling those subscriptions.
See, and this is the problem, too. Everyone's like, pay-per-views, they're PLEs, bud.
For this show is a whole lot more important than a guy who's doing a show, you know, and kind of just playing a character rather than.
I don't even get what Dave's point is. So selling the subscriptions is way more important than him playing a character, which might sell subscriptions. What the fuck? You're losing it, bro. Dave, you're losing it. You're melting
for, you know, the
down.
Young superstar, you know, babyface, you know, that former heel thing. So
Ollie by golly for 5 says one promo by CM Punk and everyone is talking about Mania. Yeah, exactly. No one gives a fuck about AEW Dynasty this Sunday. They really don't. It's in Vancouver, buddy. So no one really gives a fuck. You're right. No, there's zero hype. Again, Dave's gonna lie about. I can't wait to bust him lying about these pay-per-view numbers this time too. Cue the song for Meltz and Bry. Yeah, what, the flute or what? You want the whole goddamn thing? Yeah, wait till the end of the show for that. But we'll play this sad flute. They're sinking. They're dwindling. They're receding. They're molding. They've fallen off. The ship is sinking. So we got a few more to get to here. I think they talk about WWE some more. Is it just me or Dave's voice get more moist after week after week? Dude, it depends what he's talking about. AEW on LimeWire in 2027. AEW coming to an RSS feed. Dave needs some sun. Don't we all, dude? Oh, the Cope song. You want the Cope? Okay.
You are coping and seething. You just can't accept what you're seeing. Yes, you're coping and seething. The truth it is scalding, and now you are molding and coping so hard. Coping and seething.
Booyah. So, pardon me. I need to get moist here. Fuck Dave getting moist about. Let me get moist here. Everybody hydrate time. So, we move along here, and I think they talk a bit more about WWE. They do. Actually, they talk about AEW and TNA. What is this? The McMahon. Okay, so here's Dave Meltzer talking about something, and it's a minute-long clip, and it says, Dave is so funny, man, and it is titled The McMahon.
Like I said, this, if I was, I'd be going after Lola Vice, but
okay,
I think Lola Vice,
yeah.
they got pretty locked down.
I actually meant to play this earlier, actually. So it's Dave Meltzer talking about signing Lola Vice and Kendall Gray. I should have played this earlier.
And they probably have the other ones.
Editing Phil. I'll edit it for the clip. For the clip is later. Okay. It'll be all put together in a nice little package. But Kendall Gray and Lola Vice. Too. Pardon me. The video's glitching out because it's like, this is so retarded. I'm glitching. Delete myself. Delete myself off of this app. Dave is losing it. He's spiraling. So he's like, Tone should sign up Lola Vice and Kendall Gray. Never going to happen. Lola Vice is said on Ariel Helwani show. WWE's it for her. And then Kendall Gray, again, I said what I said earlier. So let's listen to this.
But I would certainly get, like I said, this. If I was Tony Khan, I'd be going after Lola Vice. But I think Lola Vice, they got pretty locked down. And they probably have the other ones.
They got her pretty locked down. What does that even mean? And Dave, if you studied, you tell everyone to study the business. Then why the fuck don't you study Ariel Helwani? Because you don't like him, so you throw a hissy fit when Tone goes on that show and goes on Coach and Bro?
Oh my God, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
So you just refuse to watch on Ariel Helwani when Lola Vice is like, no. He asked her flat out, would you go to AEW? She's like, no, this is it. WWE is it. Like, I want to be The Rock one day. Like, this is it, you know? This is the end all be all. She literally said the end all be all, I'm pretty sure.
The other one locked down too.
Something along those lines.
But I would certainly get word out to both of those women that, like, you know.
I would get word out to both of those women. Holy dude, what a fucking shill. Like, come on, man. This doesn't. So let's say Kendall Gray hears this and she goes, well, Tone calls him on the phone. Really? Will I get 10x the money?
A lot more money on this side, and we'll push her quick.
That doesn't affect jobs
too, because those two I mean, Kendall Gray, she's going to be the best. Like I said it before, people get mad at it, but
no one's gotten mad at it. We all agree. We get mad. This is what we get mad at, Dave, again, because you're too dumb to understand people, because you're not a human being. You're like an alien. You're like a shapeshifter fucking wearing human skin that you found like a century ago, and you've been fucking wearing it ever since, trying to act normal and shit. But Dave, people are angry that you like her so much and that you're putting her over so much, because that is going to, there's going to be a stink on that, and it's going to make Tone try and take her away when like she wouldn't be as good as she was if it wasn't for NXT and shit right now. Like, yes, her physical ability's there, but she's getting over because of WWE, and you hate that, and you want her to go to AEW so you can just see her cartwheel. We all know she can do that. We all know she takes the straps down, and she's very attractive, Dave, and she goes, ah, and then she does her moves, and I know you love seeing that just over and over and over on loop, but like the reason she's getting over is because that plus all the other shit, and we want to see that too, but we want to see it broadened and developed and paced in a way to where there's longevity in it and you don't just burn out quick. And she can take all the money up front, but there's more money in the long run in WWE. If you are what Dave says, you are a superstar, then in the long run, there will be way more money and legacy and legendary status and all of that shit that comes and opportunities that come with that, than if she just took all the money now and have zero ROI, like no return on investment on that. You know what I mean? Like, who's returned money to Tone that he's like overpaid for so far? Anybody? Maybe Punk? I don't even know, though. He was paying him boatloads of cash. So Dave just gives the wrong advice. He's like, go take all the money in the world right now. I mean, yeah. I'm glad you're telling her that after WWE got her over, though, and they spent time developing her, and she'll make all that money in the long run. Instead of upfront cash, she'll make the long-term fucking cash. You know what I'm saying?
she's going to be the best women wrestler in very short period of time. Athletically, she's already the best American. Her wrestling is at a different level because she's a real wrestler, but she can fly. Her timing is good. But Lola Vice, man, her kicks are fantastic.
Her kicks are fantastic. What, her shoes? No.
I mean, and she doesn't potato people. Like, she does all those kicks, and you didn't see anyone busted open or anything, and they don't look soft. Most people
What is, like, this is what I'm saying. So Dave's like, she is a good wrestler. She lays her shit in and it doesn't actually hurt people. Like who? Like most people who do that fucking style that you talk about all the time. And I get why Dave would like it. She makes it look clean, but it's like Dave's like used to seeing people get potatoed or what? It's like, yeah, she's great. She's a great wrestler.
They're MMA fighters that are.
So again, man, Dave just, I don't know, doing his thing. Okay, so here is Dave getting owned by Niccolo Piccolo. And Niccolo Piccolo says, do not commit crimes with checks. And so
let me just tell you something.
Dave Meltzer responds to this guy, Captain Black, who goes, there's no business leader in all of media who would sign a distribution deal with a streaming platform only to not be told how their show is performing and views on that platform. So is this AEW shilling stuff? Yes, it is. Okay, guys, let's transition to the AEW shilling stuff, actually, which is what we are going to fucking do. And I may start, I guess we'll just start with that. We'll start with that. So we covered Tone and the Coach and Bro stuff, essentially, right? But now we're floating over to Dave just talking about recent AEW stuff and the war between AEW and TNA. So we will actually just start where we were at. And so Niccolo Piccolo kind of owns him here with this clip from a TNT sports show here with Charles Barkley and whatnot. So Captain Black, says there's no business leader in all of media who wouldn't sign a distribution deal with a streaming platform only to not be told how their show is performing in views on that platform. And that's what I'm saying. Like, Tone either knows the number and lies that he doesn't, or he really doesn't know it, and people are just taking advantage of him, you know? I don't know what else to say. Like, them hiding them from him and him being okay with that is fucked. So Dave Meltzer goes, and yet all we have is people in charge complaining about not knowing their numbers on every streaming platform, both sports and non-sports. And I mean, kind of, but not really. Like, Max flexes the numbers. But here's the thing. TV execs like Niccolo Piccolo, the movie people figured this out a while ago, and now they're working deals. I think in sports, they are trying to hide the shit. I would say from sports people, wouldn't they, if they could get away with it? But like, here's the thing. Maybe they tried that, but again, Nick also represents athletes and shit. And I'm sure he would be like, yeah, no, they all caught on too. You know, like Hollywood and shit caught on, like they were getting taken advantage of, and then they kind of figured it out. And then obviously everywhere else is going to follow suit. Sports and entertainment is like 1-1 now, you know, with the way people think the NFL is all a fucking faker than pro wrestling now and shit. And so Dave is just like, nobody knows the numbers, but like, that's just not fucking true. I just don't believe that. They're just not telling Dave that they know the numbers. Netflix just openly says what the numbers are, for instance, for WWE and for their sporting events. They say, like, Jake Paul claims to know what his numbers are, and then people go, well, the estimates are more like this, and it's like, all right. And Dave Meltzer in the MMA world, people will go to him and be like, his estimates are this, and it's like, you guys don't get it. Like, he is such a clown. He doesn't really know, you know what I'm saying? But Dana White knows his fucking numbers, even if he bullshits the power slap ones. He knows, or someone around him knows. People fucking know. People like Niccolo Piccolo dig around. It's his job to know. It's their jobs to know what the fuck the numbers are so they can negotiate for their talent properly and stuff. Dave just isn't in that world, and he's mental. Okay. So again, Dave Meltzer kind of spurging here, but not entirely untrue. Like, you see the CW melting down. Oh, these numbers are like, they're just going off what Nielsen says and shit. But those are still people releasing numbers. So Niccolo Piccolo's like, bullshit, though. Let's play this.
Let me just tell you something. What's that? Do not commit crimes with checks. Come on, man. You cannot. If you're going to break the law, do not write a check. Because you're writing a check that what? Behind can't cash.
So again, Dave he's just calling him out like, Dave, you're just talking out of your ass about stuff you don't know anything about. And speaking of things that Dave claims he knows nothing about, Chris Jericho. Now, I believe Dave Meltzer kept it sort of hidden. He knew the whole time where Jericho was going to end up. And again, he just kind of kept it hidden to try and like help AEW out a little bit. And let's hear what he has to say about Chris Jericho's return to AEW, which I think once they leave Canada could backfire. Points to Dave for pointing that out, at least. Him beating on Ricochet, I think, is the right move, and I'll tell you why. Because people fucking hate Ricochet. So how do we really get over, like, Jericho's back and he's a good guy and we should love him, and he's going to do his retirement Legends tour here, and that's why he brought back the list. Is it shitty that they have to bring back the list to get people? Yes, abso-fucking-lutely. And Jericho stole that from an indie wrestler anyways. I don't know if he stole it or if the person who came up with that idea and who pitched it to Jericho stole it. We could be getting the list with Kevin Owens upon his return and shit in Jericho's last run. But I mean, I've heard rumors that like Jericho doesn't want, like, if he went to WWE, the sickos would like hit him with the fucking NDA stuff and the fucking MAGA stuff and all that shit. And he doesn't want to deal with that. You know, it's too old in his career, but he does want to be in WWE. And that's why I think Tone was coping on the Coachman Bro, where he was like, oh, he wants to be here. He really wants to be here. He kept repeating that. And he kept repeating, I don't know how Shane McMahon, or there was a picture of me and Shane McMahon. I have no clue. It could have been a fan. It could have been a fucking pigeon with a phone, with a camera, with a digital camera. Who knows how that picture got taken? Those are the two things it seemed like Tone was coping about. And Jericho wants to be here. And I don't know, man. I don't know if he really does. But the amount of money he was able to get out of it, I think, is worth it. We're talking like generational wealth, you know? So, yeah, Jericho's in AEW. Let's hear Dave's assessment on it all. I think he just helped like hide it so that it didn't blow up their spot. And it's just another example of like the sheets hiding shit for Tone.
I think that for him at this stage, the idea would be, who are we trying to establish as somebody important who can rise to the occasion? And he is a guy who you can work with, who has star power, and use that to help guys on the way up. But I don't know who those guys are, because right now, I mean, they have more than enough guys now. I mean, like the Brody Kings and the Banditos and you know, Roosh and all of these type of guys. I mean, Mortos, you know, like there's a million of these guys now, and not all of them are getting pushed, nor can they all get pushed. So I don't know that there's like a, you know, like when Darby Allin of many years ago, or Jack Perry of many years ago, you know, or Bandito when he first came in, you know, or Orange Cassidy when he first came in, you know, those type of guys that, you know, had the potential to be stars, and they most of them end up being bigger than I would have expected. But you know, it's good to work with someone with credibility and have them put you over, work even with you, feud with them, do storylines with them, gives you focus.
Okay, so again, he's just pretty much listing why Jericho's so great for AEW. So Ricochet needs focus, and he needs to be elevated, and he needs to get better in the ring, and he needs a veteran to hold his hand and fucking. And I know this is the first guy like that they're just doing for like the pay-per-view, and then he'll work with someone after. But it's like, how is it a benefit to being in AEW? I know that's not, I guess, the clip. The clip is like, who should he work with? And then Dave just goes, it should be someone that, and he lists all the shit. And it's not going to be any of that, Dave. He's going to work Kenny. He's going to work MJF. He's going to work guys who already got it. Unless he surrounds himself with a bunch of young dudes he tries to get over again, and that doesn't pay off. He'll end up wrestling Moxley again, for fuck's sakes. So the problem is that Dave isn't thinking about how much money they gave him and how the creativity, it's been sapped. Like there's nobody new there that he can work with, really, that's going to make people be like, holy shit, this is crazy. Maybe Jericho and Edge and Christian team up one time to fucking, like, that could be fun in Canada or something. They should have got that done for Dynasty or some shit, you know? I don't know.
This gives you a story, makes you
I don't know
somebody.
what to tell you.
I think that he was very valuable in those roles, but I don't know who those people are right now. I mean, there always should be young guys you're bringing in, but they're
And
so
Dave
low.
did say that. Dave did say that they're all the same right now. And they fucking are, because you either stagnate or you regress in AEW. It's just that simple.
Right now, when it comes to really talented guys that don't even get TV time, that it's like, I can't sit there and go, hey, you know what? I mean, maybe Jericho will find somebody and help him.
See, even Dave is like, what the fuck? Dave wanted him to go to the Fed. He didn't want him in AEW, because even Dave, but he just won't admit it. This is why you're shill, Dave. Because you won't say this is a bad move by Tone. This just wasn't the right move by Tone. And I'm like, good for Jericho, but for Tone, I am the first one to tell it's not the right move. And it's not the right move for Jericho artistically and status-wise and like his legacy and shit. It isn't. But monetarily and probably like what he want. Jericho's older. Does he want to deal with cancel pigs coming out trying to cancel him because he returns to WWE? Right? And you got MJF talking about MAGA and shit in interviews on the Adam Friedland show. The sickos are just going to try and cancel Jericho and his wife again or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
But I don't see, like years ago.
He's held hostage. The sickos held him hostage in AEW.
Oh, I would have gone like, hey,
for tons of money.
To work with them that could use that.
It's held hostage, but you just get like shitloads of money and shit, and it kind of rules. You know what I mean? And you just get to be a rich guy and do whatever you want. So it's really not that bad. But is it selling your soul? That's the question.
Benefit.
Okay, so we move along. So he talks about Jericho a little bit more, and they talk about Jericho's new character, and it's not a new character, stupids. It's just babyface Jericho doing You Just Made the List. It's just Jericho when he's a babyface with the You Just Made the List shit.
Jericho came out for a promo, and he did total babyface promo. He put over the town, and
he was smart, but I mean, no booze. I mean, we'll see what happens when he gets to the United States, but no booze, and it was, I mean, they were pretty into it.
They were pretty into it, Dave. Yes, they were into seeing Jericho because they're in Canada, and he's one of like 4 fucking wrestlers that they know in AEW in Edmonton. And if the music break the wall down, everyone would have went, oh, but instead they have to settle with Judas where they don't really know the words, and it didn't get a ton of radio play up here and shit. You know what I'm saying?
I thought he did a great job with the promo. I think that the one thing also is that he's very clearly in great cosmetic shape. I mean, he's lost a lot of weight. He looks lean, and you know, people hate Ricochet. I think that it was that segment.
And
really
in Canada, I'm going to tell you this too. They just booed whoever walked out to interrupt. They just booed the guys wearing black, mean mugging Jericho. I promise you, man. Not a lot of people are keeping up with AEW like that in Canada.
Worked well. I mean, we'll see. You know, I mean, it's like the thing is, when you're working with Ricochet, I mean, obviously you have to have a match at a certain level.
They weren't booing him because like, oh, his MS shit. They booed him because they fucking stuck the right guy in there.
Because Ricochet's matches are always a certain level. And
Ricochet's matches are always a certain level. See, Dave just goes, he no matter what gets this stamp because he pointed to me at a match in PWG one time. He no matter what gets a stamp of hits a certain level with Ricochet. Name a classic Ricochet match. Oh, well, the one with Ospreay where they did video game shit, fell marks on Japan. You know, like, what are you going to say? One that stands the test of time. One that moves people like fucking, like Jericho's moved people with HBK and shit.
See how the match goes.
You just made the list. And as soon as he said that,
and Dave doesn't go, oh, they're doing old Fed shit. So they redid the Ciampa thing. They redid the Beth Phoenix thing from 2022. They redid the fucking You Just Made the List. They're redoing. So Dave doesn't point out they're redoing all this shit. Bry's got to come in and be like, huh, it was odd, huh? They're doing old WWE stuff. Dave doesn't say a goddamn word.
I thought, you know what? This guy always comes back with some new gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
And instead, he's doing a gimmick from 10 years ago.
Yeah, he did Lionheart in AEW, you fucking marks. He did Lionheart in AEW. That's from 30 years ago.
It popped, though. But we'll see.
It did.
It
But
did.
I don't know, man.
Well, we'll see.
All I know is this guy's up to something, and I haven't figured it out yet. But that's what I got out of this.
Mm-hmm.
He's up to something. It's also possible that his newest gimmick is just he's going to do every single one of his old gimmicks from his entire career.
I mean, it is a dated gimmick for sure. But when he did, I mean, the people were waiting for it. When they saw the clipboard.
Well, yeah, it was 10 years ago. It's a dated gimmick, but what's old is new.
What's old is new, but not really, bro. He was going to go to WWE and do this list shit. Okay? He's going to fight Dom. That's what he wanted to do in a perfect world. Okay?
It worked for a while.
No, that's what I mean. No,
allegedly.
I think it can work as something, you know, quirky. And because
he's just doing it here because he's just got to do it here.
To that, it could get him cheered where he can be a babyface.
He did get cheered and he is a babyface.
You know, and I mean, maybe the time off is what it all needed and everyone's forgotten and moved on. And
moved on from what? The sickos chanting, please retire. You're in Edmonton. Wait till you motherfuckers go to Cincinnati and then start saying shit like, oh, maybe it worked. Fuck, man.
And go back and be a star again. I mean, We don't know yet. We don't know until he gets out of
Thank
Canada,
God Dave says it.
exactly how people will take him. But
and again, it's like Canadians are fucking redacts. It's not really that, but it's just AEW's got no motion, really, you know.
Like
and you see that by the dwindling. They had 4,400 people in Winnipeg for Jericho and Omega and Callis and all these people from there. They're from there. They can't even draw. You know what I mean?
Thing is,
and it's not like Jericho. Like it's not Jericho's fault. It's not all on him. It's just AEW's got no motion.
Night was a big success for him.
If he was in WWE and they were doing 18K Raws, Dave and them would be like, well, is it the success only
Jericho
because
came
of
out
John Cena? Is the success only because of Jericho? Right? The Jerichoholics, Brian. So Dave Meltzer talks about the AEW TNA war, okay? And this was him speculating on Ricochet versus Leon Slater, whether it gets canceled. And he speculated on the Nick Nemeth match, which did get canceled. And this match did get canceled. TNA is keeping their talent away from AEW talent right now. The wrestling wars have officially begun once again. They're underway. AEW versus TNA and MLP and NXT. So it's NXT versus AEW, MLP versus TNA, and Nuge versus Noah, I guess. Maybe Nuge is just, I think, is kind of hurting, but would be way bigger and better, I guess, in that regard. And AEW's working with Stardom again. I think Tone did announce that. So he worked something out there again. And you have CMLL versus AAA. So the lines are being drawn. It's like a double monopoly. Whereas, I don't know, man. I think a healthy monopoly, because it's still somewhat of a monopoly, but like a healthy level of companies owning some shit is like, let's say 3 to 6 companies own 3-6. Somebody gonna get their ass kicked. Somebody gonna get their wig split. If there's like 3 to 6 companies running everything, I think that's a healthy balance. Just 1 or 2, I don't think that's the healthiest of balances. Because even 2 is like, damn, that's not much of a choice. If you have to, then you have to choose a side. There's no like third or fourth option where it's like, here we go. But yeah, the line in the sand has been drawn. And Dave Meltzer had this to say: people involved in the situation believe that WWE was the one that blocked TNA talent from facing AEW talent. So, of course, it's a but WWE. And then WWE's just light years ahead of everything else on its own. WWE is just like Raw versus SmackDown, you know, and the wrestlers versus each other, right? And then everything else is below that. And that's officially established with the TNA AEW war. They wouldn't be worrying about each other so much. Like, I knew this would become the narrative. And I'm actually on AEW's side when they go like, when the reports are, but we don't know if it's true, but the reports are like Carlos Silva was upset TNA or AEW went on Thursday. Yeah, but you should have known that when you did your TV deal, because you were already on Thursday and they were already doing collisions on Thursday. So either they're lying about that or Carlos Silva's getting mad about shit. He's pulling a Tony Khan here. He's getting mad about shit, but he's not. He's being professional. He only gave professional quotes. He wasn't like, yeah, well, that's the first time MJF ever drew 700K. You know what I mean? He's not like trying to take a shot at their top guys or anything, even though MJF is trying to provoke him into doing that. Why? Because then it will make people go AEW against TNA. They're trying to start a war with TNA. They're picking a fight with TNA now. Why? Because the Fed kicked their ass. It's just official. It's just official. And NXT's in that convo too. But yeah, I predict these things, you know, like I knew that was
just in from Phil Marks of PWT. He says, I told you so.
And if it's true that Carlos Silva's upset, like I didn't anticipate that. I'll be frank. I didn't anticipate him getting upset about anything. I thought he was like going to be cool and calm, and Tony might spurg out a bit, having to put AEWs against TNA. And he still might if TNA beats AEW, but MJF just taking shots at TNA, it's only good for TNA. It's only good for like more people being like, oh, TNA, like people might tune in to see if they take shots back. So it might backfire on them. Who knows? I'm here for it. Right? I love that this is going on. But anyways, Dave Meltzer, of course, just taking his side, though. Oh, it's AEW versus TNA and WWE, and I'm on team fucking AEW. He immediately does it. He goes, it's the case because the only thing that's happened is Carlos Silva is the one who said it, and it makes him look really bad saying it after approving it. So something must have happened between Friday and Monday to where they did an about face on all these matches. Okay. So here's what Dave said before it got canceled. And he talked about how Ricochet versus Leon Slater could be the best match of WrestleMania week. That's how hard he's glazing Stinkishay lately.
I have no idea how they got the Ricochet and Leon Slater match through. I mean, it's like, I know I never really got the details. I know it must have been incredibly difficult, but they got it.
May not want to talk too much about it. What if they're listening and they're like, "Oh, did we make a mistake here?"
Yeah.
See, it's almost like Dave. Dave, you blew up their fucking spot, you dummy. That's what it feels like. It's like you just blew up their spot like you do for everybody, man. Shut the fuck up, dude. You're bad for this shit, okay? If this was going to be the best match of the weekend, you blew up their spot. You're fucking talking about it. You're bringing light to and stirring shit up. Oh, there could be a problem. Who says? Until you say. And then fucking Carlos Silva, they separate it. And why wouldn't you? Why the fuck do you want Ricochet going over on Leon Slater when he's been featured on SmackDown and he's your fucking X Division champ? Like, why would you want that to happen if you're TNA in the first place? Why would this even be allowed to get booked in the fucking first place? And then when MJF's like, oh, you're taking money out of their pockets. True, but like, where were you talking that shit when Ricky Saints got replaced with Jericho on GCW? Shut up. MJF's a dumb guy. You know, I know he's in fucking character, but he like a lot of the time, but it's like, dude, you just say dumb shit. Maybe it's just to trigger me. Actually, that's the thing. Shout out MJF because he's like on the forefront of the fucking, and being a dumb guy is probably part of his fucking character, but it's just like, buddy, like he does run-ins on Elbu. He's friends with Elbu and shit. Anybody friends with Elbu, you're a dumbass. Okay. So that's the thing, right? So MJF though is like, they're taking money out of pockets. It's like, dude, you don't go to bat for this. Stop. It's just cringe. It's going to turn people against you now and not in the way you think. Again, it's like we tried to stop Ricochet from getting, it's like, no, dude, you're going the wrong direction with this. And it's say whatever you want. Say what's in your heart. Like, I'm not going to tell you what to say, but it's just like, trust me, bro. Like people like Leon Slater and shit, though. You're not going to start turning people on Slater now, you know, and some of these TNA guys, are we? Like, that's all you're going to start doing or you think you're doing. And the AEW sickos will get behind you. That's fine. They want these little bitch ass wrestling wars. Okay. They want you to go at TNA. And all you're doing is asserting that AEW's number 2 or 3, depending if TNA starts kicking your ass. And you didn't say this shit when Ricky Saints was getting fucking, you're only doing it now because you're just going to back up Tone. So you seem like a Tone glazer. Right. And also, I don't know, but shout out MJF for like calling out Carlos Silva and shit. I mean, that's all good, but like MJF, you haven't been a return on investment for the money Tone's paid you. You haven't made that money back for Tone, not even close. Light years away. So just shut the fuck up. Like, be grateful that you're getting, you know what I mean? Not everybody's some fucking privileged 23-year-old or however you were who lucked and stumbled into a fucking billionaire. You know what I mean? Who drinks 3 coffees, triple cup Tone, who just gave you millions of dollars, right? Like, that would be counting my fucking blessings.
Yeah, I mean, the guys wanted it and they got it, you know, and no, the thing is like, as a match, I think it's going to be like incredible because it's again, like for a guy like Leon Slater, you know, like a young guy like that, who like Ricochet had to be one of those guys, you know, that he just, I don't want to say idolized because I don't know Leon Slater at all, but one of those guys.
I don't know him at all. So Ricochet's like one of those guys that Leon Slater idolized. I don't want to say idolized, but like he obviously was inspired by and liked this guy a lot. And it's like, but you just said you don't know him. Did he say that? I know he likes Jeff Hardy and shit. Did he ever say Ricochet? Maybe. I'm sure he likes Ricochet, but like, Dave, just shut the fuck up. They're going to do a bunch of flips. We know why you like it.
Guys, when you're growing up and you're watching him, you're going like, Ricochet, Will Ospreay, like these, that if you're a wrestler at the level of him, you know what I mean? Those are the guys who are going to be like the guys who really impress you. So for him, it's a big deal. And Ricochet, he's been really wrestling well anyway. And I think that he really probably wants a new singles match with somebody new, and in that type of a setting.
There's like 700 guys sitting at home in AEW, man. What the fuck are you talking about, Dave? You just are trying. What you're trying to say, Dave, is they're gonna do a bunch of flips. Ricochet likes me, so I just love this match, and I hope Leon Slater does a bunch of flips. And oh my god, it was gonna be the greatest thing I ever seen at WrestleMania. This is what I was looking forward to the most, and they're now taking it away from me. How dare you, evil fed? How dare you, evil fed? So the last clip. Dave now has insight. So right then, he just had no clue. He didn't know. He had no insight. Hopefully, I wonder how they got this match through. Hopefully, it continues. And then the spot's blown up. It's canceled. And now Dave has the fucking inside scoop. And many are saying that it was within WWE, Bryan.
They've advertised this match for a while. They pushed it as this big dream match, and people were looking forward to it, and to take it away. I mean, the finish had been approved by both parties, whatever it was going to be. Everything had been approved. I mean, they had gone through all the channels. Everyone had approved all of these matches. And then, now...
So Dave, I have no clue how it got done. I have no clue. But now in hindsight, oh, yeah, it was all approved. It was all approved. Well, and then someone would argue, well, yeah, that's what a journalist insider does. But no, because if Dave will tell you, pay attention, read everything I ever wrote, and you're the most informed, and you know everything in the whole fucking world, right? But he didn't know shit about this, and now in hindsight, when other people covered it, or he's just guessing, or he's just making up a narrative now to fit whatever's going on now, he's the absolute worst.
All of a sudden, TNA just cancels all of them, and they should have just at least said, okay, from now on, we are not going to allow it, but because we've already approved these matches, they should happen. And there's no reason not to do it. There has been heavy speculation.
There's no reason to not get Leon Slater pinned by fucking Fingershay at a fucking indie show, WrestleMania weekend, when Leon Slater's been on SmackDown fighting Carmelo Hayes for the U.S. title and shit. What are you talking about?
It was WWE forcing the
fucking
hand.
X Division champion. They're in a ratings war head-to-head Thursday. Come on, man.
TNA. I mean, everyone in wrestling thinks that's the case. I cannot prove that that's the case. I know people who are involved who think that's the case, but they also cannot prove it's the case, because the only thing that's happened is Carlos Silva is the one who said it, and it makes him look really bad saying it after approving it. So something must have happened, between Friday and Monday, to where they did an about face on all of these matches. And I think there may be others as well that had been agreed on, but they're not advertised. And the MJF Bear Bronson match wasn't advertised yet. So in those cases, like you could I could.
Did he just did he just stooge a match that wasn't announced yet, or how was it announced if you didn't know? Or is that who is going to answer the open challenge? Or no. I think so what happened was Bear Bronson actually some time ago was booked to face MJF, and they pulled him off that match. So now Dave's like, oh, they didn't announce that yet, but yeah, Bear Bronson was pulled off a match. And he's just like stealing Mike Johnson's news and shit. Like, come on.
Pulling that one. The Ricochet Slater.
And so they pulled him off before. So is this really a crazy thing? And did it really go through all the channels? And is it really what you're making it out to be? I almost don't believe you now, Dave.
Your match. I think it just came off bad, especially because of how much work was put into getting that, and how much both guys wanted the match. I mean, the reason the match was made was because both guys wanted it, and
no, they didn't want it. Leon Slater didn't want it, and he just didn't even want to be there. Like Bry doing a show with you at 2:30 a.m., Dave. He just didn't even want to be there and get paid. Why would he want to do that?
It was a special match, and it was a unique match. Could have been the match of the weekend. And then to take it away.
What if they do? Maybe not. But what if they have a bunch of TNA guys like sitting in the crowd at fucking Mania or something too? We don't know. He could be getting paid to like do some shit for all we know. On top of it, maybe Silva's like making it up. We have a bigger opportunity. Maybe not. It's maybe not that, but Dave's speculating. So let me speculate.
I just thought it came off bad because even if it comes from WWE and they say we don't want you doing this, I think that they should have fought back to the point of going like, okay, but the stuff that's advertised for like this week, I mean,
They could have fought back by going, okay, all right, Dave, okay, Unk,
break. You know what I mean? But whatever, it didn't happen, and TNA looked real. TNA is the one that looks bad, not WWE.
I mean, he might be right in that. I think TNA, but like, why is WWE brought into this? I guess because they're partnered, and that could be an issue, I guess. But and I was even talking about SmackDown, but like, why would WWE look bad when this is what they've done forever? And let's say they were the ones. I don't know. I think that's what Dave's trying to say. But if all the TNA guys are like at Mania or some shit, then you're cooked, Dave. If there's a bunch of TNA people who get in a brawl with a bunch of NXT people at Mania in the crowd and they work a shoot or something, Triple H, if you're listening, and everyone's like, holy fuck, oh my God, that's Leon Slater and shit, Imagine if that happened. I'm not saying it will, but if some shit like that went down, then this is going to backfire on Dave. And hey, you were just speculating. I'm just speculating. I'm Fantasy Mark booking here. And don't forget, guys, grab this returning subscriber offer because just like Dave's hairs, a bunch of people, a bunch of follicles have fallen off of F4W Online. $9.99 a month if you're returning, which I mean a returning sale. So a bunch of people canceled. Oh, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen. And you're a dumbass, Dave. That's why I continue to roast you. I will never stop roasting you. You're a fucking shill. And that was Dave Meltzer, dumb moment of the week. Featuring Bryan Alvarez. And of course they had
Cuervo. He had Cuervo with him the whole time too.
613-805-42 says the best guys, Tony Khan.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
Thank you so much. Thanks for all the big supports tonight. For all the support, everybody who tunes in to every show, watches the clips. I love you guys, all you motherfuckers. Be amped up. It's WrestleMania week coming up. Let's get hype. Let's get hyphy, as the boomers would say. Maybe that's a millennial thing. I don't fucking know. But yeah, guys, let's get amped up. It's Mania week coming up. Sicko Saturday will be here live. I appreciate you all. Be good to each other. I've been Phil F. Marks. Chris McCarty, 712845 says Danny Luna is still signed to TNA. She is still on their roster page. It's up to date. So either she re-signed or never left. They didn't tape this, right? Is this a live TNA or is it taped? And maybe she did re-sign. I think we would have gotten an announcement, or this was taped and then they just don't remove her off the roster page until like some certain date. Or maybe she chose not to re-sign and they were like, okay, then you whatever. Or what is she doing on TNA? I have to watch. Is she cutting promos and shit? I don't know. But who knows if she's staying or not? We know that she has WrestleMania WWE aspirations. Thank you for the question. Ask Meltzer. He seems to have all the TNA inside scoop. Thank you guys for being here. Until next time, keep your flutes polished. Stay short, Bryan Alvarez. I've been Phil S. Marks. Peace.
Oh my God, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen. You're overdue. I just felt it's something that makes you look good, and that's cool, and I'm all for it, but I think you need to tone this down because now it's getting obtrusive to the show. But they can go in the afternoon for a U.S.
Hold
show,
on a second.
As they did there. And they can do 180,000 buys for an afternoon show, which they've also done for All In. So
okay,
we know they can do big.
Can I continue this before you cut me off? We know one thing.
Yes.
We know it might have done well because it went on first.
I'm not saying it would.
Here's my thing, Dave.
But here's wait. Okay, here's the thing. Oh my God, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
I mean, it didn't mean anything to me. It was just a match.
That's the problem, Dave. It should mean something to you.
Give him a quick squash win.
just to show that, like, you know, he's not a loser.